there a for you all to know, Councilwoman Gregory has been in executive session with us by Teams, and she will be on the telephone during this meeting. Is there a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Councilman Girardeau made the motions.
I second.
Councilwoman Broll seconded the motion. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Council would like to make a motion after the executive session.
Based on our discussions. And I will make that motion. I make a motion that the staff and city attorney work with the Oliver Group to begin contract negotiations for the sale and redevelopment of the Hotel Aiken and adjacent downtown properties.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Councilwoman Diggs, second the motion? Are you okay? And all
Yep.
those in?
Well, let's make sure that Andrea,
Okay.
So we have her.
Can you hear?
I can, yes.
okay, did you hear the motion, Andrea?
Yes.
And then I need a second, please. Oh, that was Gail. Thank you. Councilwoman Diggs, second the motion. All-
Gail Diggs. Gail Diggs.
Councilwoman Diggs. All those in favor? Motion's unanimous.
Will you ask Andrea how she votes?
Andrea, how did you vote? I am voting not in favor.
Okay.
She was opposed.
Okay, 6-1. Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to the June 9th meeting of the Aiken City Council. If you're inclined, please rise for the invocation followed by the pledge. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down upon those who hold office in the city of Aiken the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people. In your name we pray. Amen. Chief, would you come and lead us in the pledge, please?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before the meeting begins, I will review the guidelines. Meetings are public forums in which many opinions are expressed, and the business of the city must be conducted. As such, discipline, honorable, and professional decorum is paramount. Courteous and respectful communication is required. During public hearings, all questions and statements from the public shall be directed to the chair. If you wish to speak, raise your hand and I will recognize you. Please approach the podium and state your name and address at that time. In order to allow an opportunity for everyone who wishes to address council, speakers should limit their comments to the subject being discussed. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes to address an issue, and many may only address an issue once unless questions from council are posed to the speaker. During the non-agenda public comment section, each speaker has 3 minutes and can only speak once. We now move to additions and deletions to the agenda. I recognize Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor.
For that.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to see you. We've got a big agenda. That's about half of it. So we'll move right along. Mayor, there are no additions or deletions to the current agenda, so I send that to you as a motion.
Thank you. So our motion does not have anything to do with that we, okay, got it. The second, I need a second.
Madam Mayor, I second that motion.
Councilwoman Broll, second the motion. All those in favor? Thank you. Unanimous. The minutes were provided to council for review prior to this meeting. Is there a motion for approval of the minutes?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Price made the motion. And a second from?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Brohl. Any comments or changes? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. We have one presentation this evening, which is a proclamation designating June 21st, 2025 as Juneteenth Day in Aiken. Councilwoman Price, will you please read the proclamation into the record?
Good evening, everyone, and we're happy to see the chambers filled with interested citizens in our community. This proclamation that I have in front of me is a proclamation designating June 21st, 2025 as Juneteenth Day in Aiken, South Carolina, and it reads, whereas President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863, declaring that enslaved in Confederate territory free, paving the way to pass the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in the United States of America. And whereas news about the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation finally reached authorities and African Americans in Texas on June 19, 1865. And whereas on June 19th, coined Juneteenth combined the words June and 19th, also known as Emancipation Day, is the commemoration of the last day of mass enslavement in the United States of America and the first day of mass liberation for all African Americans, and is continuing to touch communities across the United States of America. And whereas Juneteenth was signed into law as a federal holiday on June 17, 2021, and whereas the annual Juneteenth celebration in the city of Aiken will take place at Founders Park on June 21st, 2025, hosted by the Center for African American History, Art, and Culture. Now, therefore, I, Teddy Milner, Mayor, and the Council of the City of Aiken, South Carolina, do hereby declare June 21st, 2025 as Juneteenth in the City of Aiken, South Carolina, and urge all citizens to educate themselves about the significance of this celebration in African American history. And it is signed by our mayor, Teddy Milner, and all 6 members of Aiken City Council. Mayor.
Thank you. Will the representative from the Center for African American Art and Culture and History come forward, please? Thank you. At this time, we'd like to call the Colliers Group no, sorry, Oliver Group, come forward to make some comments. Mr. Ethan Worley, do I have your last name right? And Craig Bradford. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Miller. Good to be here. My name is Ethan Orley. I'm the managing partner of Oliver Hospitality, and my colleague Craig Bradford, SVP of Construction and Development. We hail from Nashville, Tennessee. We are here to propose a really fantastic project for the city of Aiken, redeveloping the historic Hotel Aiken and amongst the adjacent retail area as well. We have a long history, 15 years, of redeveloping hotels throughout the Southeast, including the West Coast of the U.S. We have a particular expertise in redeveloping historic properties. Some of those properties include the Hotel Claremont in Atlanta, Georgia, the Oliver Hotel in Knoxville, Tennessee, the Oliver in Oxford, Mississippi, the Fairlane Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee, and 2 other properties on the West Coast, 2 of which are historic as well. Our particular interest and abilities include the operation of properties, in addition to focusing on boutique independent hotels, which we anticipate keeping the Hotel Aiken. Outside of that, we look forward to your all's questions and hopefully a positive outcome in our ability to assist the city in transforming that particular property, and hoping that's a catalyst for the rest of downtown and what you all foresee as the long-term vision for downtown as a whole. So thank you very much for having us here tonight.
Thank you. We're very pleased to move forward with this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We now open the floor to public comments on non-agenda items. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker and for a total of 30 minutes. Yes, Kirk. Good evening, Mr. Kirk.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council. Kurt Johnson, 114 Brewster Way, Aiken. Just an update since we haven't had a meeting in a couple weeks. Since the last meeting we've had, I've been able to meet with somebody from out of town that is looking to come into town to start a rehab here in the Aiken community. They want to use an equestrian type facility. So this is nothing that we've got written down or anything else. So nothing firm. They're just looking at it. But it's something that we need because we don't have enough rehabilitation centers. Everything that we've tried is booked. I mean, we're having a hard time finding places for people to go. The overdose rate is still climbing. The police and the sheriff's department, they're doing an excellent job of getting the drugs off the street, but they still keep on coming. We are a major corridor coming off the I-20. So we're still going to have it here, but we need a way to combat it. We need a way to have other places for these people to go when they're ready, when they've hit rock bottom. And this is one of those things that we're working on. We've also got, Lex will talk about the transitional homes, but we've got other things going on. And we are making progress. We are working with the Aiken Center, and we have got people that are getting off the street. We've gotten 5 more people, in the last 2 weeks off the street. So we are making progress. Any questions? Nope. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Good evening, how are you?
Good evening. Lex Perry, 1526 South Boundary Avenue, Southeast, pastor of C4 Impact. I just want to give you a quick update. Last month, of course, we did get more folks in here, as Kurt already said. We currently have 8 residents in our bridge housing, is like I like to call it, because of course, we wanted to get them from one point to the next. The transitional homes tend to have sort of a negative connotation sometimes, but it shouldn't. But what we're doing is we're very much getting people on their feet, getting them jobs. We did help at least 3 individuals get a job last month, and I'm talking about a W-2 job, not a little side hustle. We want people working and actually having an ability to build in a career. We clocked about 450 miles of transporting people to and from jobs, to doctor's appointments and so forth. The reason I highlight that is the importance of what it takes to have these daily touches with people in order to get them on their feet. They're not looking for a handout, they're looking for a hand up. But yes, it does take a little bit more effort in the beginning, but we're actually starting to see that corner changed. With the additional apartments that are coming open, we already have people lined up, and we've had some great relationships that are already built. As a matter of fact, just today, I got 4 referrals from Aiken Barnwell Mental Health, the United Way, and I also got referrals from ACTS for individuals coming in. These are good, solid candidates that will be able to help get off the street. They have jobs, and I do foresee in the short future that they'll be able to get planted and to get into an apartment of their own, making more room for more people. So thank you again for your support. Really appreciate it. And I hope to see you all soon to come down there to check things out.
All right.
God bless.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I see a hand. Sorry.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm going to speak a little bit later on a different topic, but right now I'd like to invite you and the community to Unity Weekend. Umoja Village sponsors Unity Weekend, the 3rd weekend in October. Friday, October the 17th, we kick off our 3rd annual Unity Golf Tournament, which will be held at Cedar Creek Golf Club. And then on that Saturday is Shout Fest Unity Fest. Can somebody say Shout Fest Unity Fest? Come on now, community. That's the largest free outdoor gospel festival in the CSRA. If you have never been, you have been missing a treat. We have all day gospel music, performances, and ministries from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have over 50 food, service, merchandise, and information vendors. And we have an amazing kids zone. So this is a family-friendly event, no admission. However, we have some wonderful vendors that we certainly encourage the community to support. This year, our headliner is none other than this season's American Idol winner, Jamal Roberts. Yes. We give God the glory, yes, for that, because months before everyone else knew who Jamal was, I had been following him on social media. And I'm like, this man can really sing. And once he said that he was going to audition for American Idol, I jumped on it right away, got with his management, and booked him before everyone else knew who he was and at a manageable rate. How about that? Wouldn't be able to get that now. So it's going to be amazing. I would love for you all to support the golf tournament because this helps us with continuing our Richard Johnson Jr. Umoja Village Resource Center, in addition to our crime prevention initiatives. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So Unity Weekend, it brings the entire community together as we fellowship, we lift up God, we lift up each other, because nowadays we need positivity. So thank you all for your support.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good afternoon. I'm Tim Ransom. I live at 4302 Trotters Run Court. I'm part of the Winter Colony group who made a presentation back in January. We met all the criteria. We had a little different vision than a hotel. I know when we had the original discussion, there was you could really make a choice. You could present a hotel, or you could present a multi-family kind of group where everyone in the community comes together and can create a viable downtown where people are living and working, and where they have restaurants and shops. And instead of a place where, our vision was not that you'd have a place where these people from out of town would come in and stay overnight. They look for an economy place. Our vision was more that the heart of Aiken should become a place that we could really celebrate, we could enjoy entertainment, restaurant, dining. People living downtown was, the vibrancy of downtown was our thought. Can I ask a raise of hands here, who actually saw our presentation for the Winter Colony? Did anyone here actually see it?
The video or the presentation to a committee?
The presentation.
Okay, I saw that.
It's 2, 3? 3 people out of the whole. Anybody here familiar with the Winter Colony presentation? Anyone seen it?
Okay, you're addressing the mayor, not.
You have to address the council only.
Okay, I apologize. So my thought was, this came through very quickly. We've been waiting for 6 months, and all of a sudden, boom, it's done. Here we go. And I just don't know that we are making the right decision, because when we look at the hotels that are here, we have 10 major hotels right now. We have another across the street. It's going to be another couple hundred rooms. So with the same amount of traffic coming in with people, now the city is competing against the hotels. And we have a lot of hotels. And I guess where are the people going to go? They're going to go some to this new hotel, and so everyone will have less. So my really thought was, shouldn't we take our time and understand what's best for this city, as opposed to just running through without any discussion, and literally 3 people on the council have even seen it. So that's my thought.
Thank you. Anyone? Yes, Ms. Teresa? Good evening.
Madam Mayor, City Council, I'd just like to say this really quickly and have my seat. But Eyes of Aiken have received numerous phone calls from, and I'm just going to say the place, okay? It's Glendale Terrace. They're going up on the rent. We have our seniors that are out there. I run into so many homeless seniors, and they are getting income. However, the management is new there now, and they have gone up on the rent tremendously. So one lady already, Miss Rosalie, and she didn't mind me saying her name, she's already out because her rent for a 2-bedroom went from $1,100 to $1,300. She can't afford that, so she's with a nephew. We also have her sister that's out there, and I have 2 more now that's on the list that I'm trying to help get into the new apartments in Magnolia, and they're trying to work with me, our Eyes on Aiken, to get them in because of the policy they have. You have to make 2 times the income to qualify for a 1-bedroom at 730. So I don't understand how these policies work, et cetera. And Glendale Terrace has also adopted that same policy of the income. If I want to move in a 1-bedroom, I would have to make 2 times that rate of rent. They didn't make that. So people were coming out, and where they're going, I have no clue at this point, but the 4 that's reached out, hopefully can get some help and get into a new facility or somewhere. And so far, Magnolia is working with us. So I'm praying that they get in, and I pray that you guys pray that they get in as well. They are willing to bend a little bit of a rule to get them in. So just wanted to make note of that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
One question. Under the housing, Glendale Terrace is not under the housing authority, are
No,
they?
ma'am.
Okay,
However, they do take Section 8,
okay,
but they have a new management company from California.
okay. So did you ever find a contact?
I did. Well, I have 2 numbers actually. The first one I called said I want a Walmart gift card, and the second one there was no answer nor machine or anything, voicemail.
It's
So-
usually difficult to contact the private owners.
I think they don't want to be contacted, and I get it, you know, but I don't get it, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Johnson. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Linda Johnson, 515 Parkside Drive, President of the Historic Aiken Foundation Board, representing them. It's been a long 3 years, hasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
we've all gone through this past 3 years. But at this point, the HAF Board, of course, supports the preservation of the hotel. And it sounds like the Oliver Group is committed to doing that. In addition, we assume that the Oliver Group will be preserving the character of the historic streetscape along Richland. That's very important. We look forward to seeing their detailed plans in the future. I'd like to thank the council, actually, for moving forward on this. Again, it's been a long 3 years. We all want an economically viable plan for the hotel and these downtown buildings, and we want an experienced historic preservation developer. It sounds like the Oliver Group is that. So just in conclusion, HAF really looks forward to seeing the preservation and revitalization of this area of our town. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, we will move on. Before we move on, I must mention that Councilwoman Gregory is no longer on the phone. We now have approval and discussion of appointees to various city boards, committees, and commissions. Mr. Biedenbow.
Thank you. Thank you. We have the following for consideration: the reappointment of Ernest Saylor to the Building Code of Appeals Committee and Jill Thomas to the Equine Committee, and the appointment of Brenda Taylor to the Senior Commission.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept these nominations?
Madam Mayor, I move that we accept
Ed-
the nominations as
Ed
read.
just did.
I'm sorry, did he?
Ed,
Doesn't matter.
I'm
Counsel-
sorry.
Councilman Waltz made the motion, and a second from,
I beg your pardon, Councilman Waltz.
Don't worry about it.
and
I will second.
Councilman Broll second the motion. Comments from the public? Comments from council? All in favor?
Ed, all in favor?
All in favor. Thank you. Are there, that's unanimous. Are there any nominations to consider at the next meeting?
I have one, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
I would like to appoint Roscoe Epps IV to the Planning Commission to replace Dr. Steve Simmons.
Thank you. Anyone else? Next, we have second reading and public hearing of an ordinance to set the millage rate for fiscal year 2025-2026. Mr. Biedenbow.
Thank you. We do each year adopt a millage rate as part of our budget process. However, it's adopted as a separate ordinance. We have reviewed this with council in multiple meetings, and the proposed revenue and expenditures for the fiscal year budget for 2025-26 is recommended to be 60 mills, which is the same as this current year that ends June 30th and has been the millage rate since November 2021. The last increase in the millage rate was 1989 when it was set at 120 mills, and it has been lowered 7 times since then. This is for consideration at first reading this evening, Madam Mayor. Excuse me, second reading. It was first passed on first reading May the 12th.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept this?
So moved, Madam Mayor, for adoption.
Councilwoman Price
I second.
and Councilwoman Diggs seconds it. Any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Motion passed. Next item is second reading and public hearing of an ordinance to establish new charges for water and sewer service. Mr.
Thank you. We have talked at length about our water and sewer system being an enterprise system, meaning it is makes money via. It is expected to be self-supporting, paid with user fees from the users, whether a large industry to a very small residential property and everything in between. We have looked at, we continue to look at ways to run our system efficiently. Council has also recognized the need to make upgrades to our water and sewer system. And what we have looked at doing is, and council's directed staff over the past few years to issue revenue bonds to do improvements to our sewer system. We undertook a massive sewer grouting program that will extend the life of sewer pipes. We're going to be hearing at our July meeting about our unidirectional flushing project, which will help with our water pipes downtown. So we come to this reluctantly, but also with the responsibility that we must recommend a rate increase. Council directed us to update the rate study that we first did almost a decade ago, and was last updated several years ago. We have updated the rate study to illustrate that a residential user with this proposed increase that uses 800 cubic feet of water and sewer, which is our baseline rate, would see their bills increase $5.01 per month. But I note many of our elderly and fixed income residents are billed at a rate less than 800 cubic feet, so their increase will be less than that amount. Users who use 400 cubic feet a month, which includes smaller households, would see their bills rise by $3.28 a month. And users who live by themselves or maybe on fixed incomes and closely monitor their usage and use 200 cubic feet a month would see their bills rise $2.46 a month, which includes a base rate increase in our meters, which is sort of a standard way that water utilities handle this. At our last work session, we were asked the number of meters by size, so we have included that in the cover memorandum, a table. We have, as of May 12th, 2025, we have 22,070 water meters in within our water district. a vast majority of them, about 91%, are residential size, which is 5/8 and 3/4 inch meters, which is 20,257. And as you see, as the size of the water meter gets larger, the number of meters decrease in use, since again, typically you have some homes that are on 1-inch meters, but when you get larger than 1-inch meters, you're typically talking about commercial and industrial type operations. So this is before council for consideration for second reading tonight, Madam Mayor
Thank you.
and
Do-
council.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept this ordinance?
So moved.
Councilman Girardeau made the motion, and a second from
I second, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Broll. Are any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? No?
No.
You're, okay, it's 5 to 1. Councilman Waltz did not vote in favor. Thank you. The next is second reading and public hearing of an ordinance to set the stormwater fee. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you. This is an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending the stormwater management utility fees. We, in 1992, we were the first jurisdiction in a municipality in South Carolina to implement a stormwater fee. It is placed in an enterprise fund account, not commingled with other funds, to address stormwater issues. It is used to fund city stormwater projects and maintenance of our system. We have been very judicious in the use of these funds, as indicated by the fact that over the last 33 years, we've only increased the fund 3 times in 2003, 2015, and 2019. As our system ages, increased maintenance is necessary to ensure that stormwater is properly disposed in a manner that complies with Department of Environmental Service and EPA regulations. We last, our current rate is a $7.90 per equivalent residential unit, and we would recommend, based on the rate study, we talked to council as we have more need for stormwater projects. Ultimately, the goal would be to get to around to meet our debt service ratio of $11.10 per ERU. Council asked that we look at maybe tiering this or staggering this and not doing it all in one year. So we've looked at raising that ERU rate from $7.90 to $9.09 per month. This is billed on all city water customer bills. The average residential property will pay $9.09 per month or less. And this will be allocated to capital projects and system depreciation, which we typically use for emergency repairs. And council approved this ordinance on first reading May 12th, and it is before you for second reading.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept this ordinance?
So moved.
Councilman Girardeau made the motion, and a second
I'll second, Madam Mayor.
from Councilwoman Broll. Any comments from the public? Comments from council?
I would just like to ask our city manager, as we approved already the water and wastewater, while we had the increase there, and that we had a study done by Wilden on both of these and the need in terms of what is taking place with our infrastructure and other things to warrant consideration to move forward with some of these increases.
Yes, council did ask that we have a stormwater rate study in addition to the rate study for water and sewer, and that was recommended. Again, we do want to make sure we're able to manage the system effectively. And again, one of the things that helps also is we have a capital projects 1% sales tax, which has monies that go to stormwater projects as well. That helps keep our rate manage lower than maybe it would be if we didn't have that. But again, the rate study taking all of this into account, as well as all of the projects that we need to continue to embark on, recommended going this route. Councilwoman Price.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you shared that information, because I always worry about the elderly residents, and they're having to pay more, and they're on a fixed income. So thank you for sharing the information.
Let me just add that the infrastructure needs and the upgrades that is required too. Is that not right, Stuart?
Yes, that is correct.
So without that, all those in favor? The motion, yes, it's unanimous. Thank you.
No. Did you support?
I voted, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he did. The final item under old business is second reading and public hearing of an ordinance to adopt a budget for fiscal year 2025 to 2026. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you. This is entitled Ordinance Adopting a Budget Proposed by the City Manager, containing estimates of proposed revenues and expenditures by the City of Aiken for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026, and declaring that it shall constitute the budget of the City of Aiken. I read the budget letter into the record at the last meeting. There's really, again, a couple of highlights. Again, as noted earlier, there is no millage increase. The value of a mill is estimated at $232,000, which is a 5% increase from last budget year, which illustrates the strong tax digest we have. I do note, though, we have, since May 12th, we have had one positive adjustment. We were informed by the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development that our annual Community Development Block Grant award has increased by $17,675. We're getting more money from the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development by that amount than we did last year. So therefore, we have adjusted the CDBG budget by that amount and added the funds for lot cleanup and for administrative cost offsets. And the budget, we've had multiple, again, council gave direction at New Horizons and throughout the year with other work sessions. Council, we've had multiple work sessions, and it is in first reading May the 12th, and it is before council today for second reading.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, I want to make the motion, but I also want to thank Kim Rooks and our staff, Sarah Rideout, Lex Kirkland, Mary Tilton. I mean, we have gone over this many times, asked lots of questions, and they've answered every one of them to our satisfaction. And it takes a lot to put this together, but they do an excellent job. So based on that, I am moving that we accept this at second reading.
Thank you. So a second from Councilwoman Broll. Any comments from the public?
That was, she made it first.
Second. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought she was the second.
Go ahead, Gabe.
I need a second. Second, Councilwoman Diggs. Thank you for correcting me. Comments from the public.
Good evening again, Mayor and City Council. My name is Donna Moore Wesby, CEO and co-founder of Umoja Village. We operate the Richard Johnson Jr. Umoja Village Resource Center, 831 Hayne Avenue Southwest in Aiken. We do have my husband, who's co-founder here tonight, along with two of our board members, Ms. Debbie Williams and Mr. Billy Morris, and they might speak on their own. Ever since I was a little girl, all I've ever wanted to do was to help people. The desire to give and serve was cultivated at an early age, having been raised up by a family who gave and served even when the love was not reciprocated. I can vividly remember being hired to work as a salaried employee at the Savannah River site after I graduated from college in 1992 and would no longer be an intern there. When I was told that my salary would be roughly a whole whopping $26,000 a year, I said to my family, Councilwoman Brawl, what am I going to do with all of this money? So as a 21, 22-year-old, I adopted a child from Indonesia named Ingrid Youssef Cruz after watching one of those television commercials seeking assistance on her behalf and others. Every month for several years, I sent money to the organization because I couldn't bear the mere thought of a child born into a family who cannot provide for her basic necessities. I can remember watching episode after episode of Oprah, Extreme Home Makeover, and the like, where people were blessed beyond their imagination by the generosity and unselfishness of others who saw their needs and responded. I would become overtaken with emotions and cry tears of joy. My family can attest to the fact that I would say, I want to be in a position to help people like that, whether it was with significant magnitude or to help in a small way someone who was hurting and needed to know that someone else cared. I understand and believe Jesus when he said, that which you've done to the least of these, you've done it unto me. And I take to heart the commandment, not an option for true Christians, but a commandment to love thy neighbor as thyself. Well, who is thy neighbor? Each one of you. Everyone in this chamber. You're my neighbor. And although Umoja Village has not always been warmly welcomed by some in this community, God holds me accountable to forgive and to not make things personal as perhaps others have done. Helping others is not about politics to me or my husband, nor the Umoja Village Board of Directors and staff. Helping is all about displaying love in action to anyone who needs a hand up, not a handout. And you heard that earlier. In the 2004 annual report that we mailed to each of you several weeks ago, it shows data to demonstrate Umoja Village's indelible impact on this entire city and county, from contributing to crime prevention initiatives to helping the city and county by actively addressing the homelessness problem, by locating stable housing for those who are homeless, to investing thousands of dollars into small businesses, to improving economic development by helping individuals with educational and employment pursuits, who then contribute to the tax base, to attracting tourists to county and city hotels and restaurants through our annual Shout Fest, Unity Fest, that attracts nearly 5,000 people to our community. As a matter of fact, with significant connections to resources by Umoja Village and the purchase of 2 required cribs for the infant room, today a new daycare opened up in Gloverville, supported by Umoja Village. If Umoja Village City Council were causing problems for this city, then I can understand you not supporting us. But if you really take in the annual report and things that you see with your own eyes, then it would be hard pressed for me to understand why you cannot support our organization.
Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you to those who granted meetings with me, Councilman Jerido, Councilwoman Diggs, the mayor, Councilwoman Price, and of course the city manager. Thank you, because we were able to share with you, one-on-one what this organization has done. Thank you for all that you're doing, and we pray that you will support Umoja Village as you've done in the past. God bless.
Any other comments from the public? Yes, sir. You'll stick to the time, right?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. I am not much for a whole lot of talking, but, Umoja Village was a vision from Don Wesby, 112 Indian Creek Trail, Aiken, South Carolina, 29803. Hit that. But, as my wife stated earlier, we're just caring people. That's what moves us. That's what moved us to create Umoja Village through the vision of God. And it was all about what can we do to be very effective and efficient. Umoja meaning unity. Our whole vision was to try to unite as many African American groups and sororities and fraternities to be our own resources, to manage those resources in an efficient manner that instead of being splintered, I think coming together and with holding our elected officials, local, state, federal, we're pouring into a group that only want to just give. Mother Teresa Donna had me out there today. I've been moving a guy in. I'm retired, but I'm still working hard. I'm moving beds and stuff like that because a young man and his son was on the streets. These are the things that we see. These are the things we're trying to eliminate as best we can. The help that you all have given us in the past was dynamite. Every little bit helped, everything helps. So please consider what we are doing as people. If you look around today, 2 + 2 is 4 all over the world. And when they say the rent's going up $200 for somebody who don't even have another cent, we have really got to pour into organizations like this. And what we do, we have given so much to united organizations. When the folks come into Umoja Village, we screen them and send them the best place to be. Never try to turn down anyone, but we screen them so make sure it's effective what we're doing. Make sure those folks are in a position to help themselves and try to provide those opportunities. That's what we do. We try to provide opportunities for those who try to help themselves. And you can be assured that there's some situations you really just want to cry about, but God gives us enough. We got enough. God gave everybody enough, but we're not working together to be most effective and efficient with our giving and with our love. I'm okay, but I can't be okay if I'm doing fine and I see folks suffering. I just can't be okay with that, And I imagine you may feel the same way. And if you feel that same way, really think about how we can work together, how your generosity to this group and others like us just gonna go a long way in making our entire community better. The young man is not on the street now. He's not sleeping in the car, he's in a building. All the jobs that we helped folks get last year, they put money into the taxes. That helps the city. So each one help one and we all rise. But if you just hide in the corner and say, I got mine, sooner or later it will catch up with you. Because a hungry man will eat. I know I will. Y'all can see I don't miss many meals. So again, we summon your compassion and your care to continue to help Umoja Village, help our entire community and our world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any other comments from the public? Comments from council?
Just to say that, Donna, we do know the impact that Emoji Village has had in this community. And I hear all the time, heard a few days ago from someone who had been contacted me and needing housing, and you guys were able to help. I don't even know how you did it because I called everywhere. But we appreciate all of the grants that you have awarded to different organizations, all the scholarships to the young people, and definitely the housing. And looking forward to Unity Weekend and Shout Fest. Thank you for bringing that and for bringing Jamal Roberts from American Idol to little old Aiken, South Carolina. All right? Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Madam Mayor, I have a comment or two. When we look at our society today, and as you look at inflation and the cost of everything escalating, you call it what you want, but I'll call it what I see and feel. There's a lot of greed taking place. A lot of greed. I was born poor. Poor. Let me just say poor. We were born poor. 10 children in my family. And it was tough. And growing up in that atmosphere, you realize what suffering is about. During my career, I started from nothing, and managed, my husband and I, who was an educator, and educators do not make much money, we managed to save a little bit. And that saving a little bit caused us to put aside some money to generate a little bit of wealth, not just for us, but for our children's future as well. And I will tell you that led to putting some things aside, personal things aside, and buying some real estate. And in buying that real estate, we are some of the more, the worst business people in the world. I will admit that to you honestly, because we are ones that will give property away for those who cannot afford to have it, or our rent is normally $500 to $600 a month. And with $500 to $600 a month, folks can say, how do you pay your taxes? You don't worry about these things, because I'm a spiritual person, and so is William C. Price. He believes that God will provide. And he has created some of the miracles in our lives that there's too many to even think about. He will provide. So I say that to you. Could we get $1,000 for the property? Yes. Could we get $1,200, $1,300? Yes. But it's not about that. It's helping someone else. And if you don't believe it, I can have you interview some of the folks that really are making it. They're never late on their rent when you're doing $500, $600 a month. Never late. And they can pay their other bills and save a little bit of money as well.
All those in favor? That's unanimous. Motion passed. We now move to new business. First item is first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to annex 1206 Pine Drive Northwest and zone it RS10 residential single family. Mr. Beedenville.
Thank you. It is an ordinance to annex property at 1206 Pine Avenue Northwest and rezone the same residential single family RS10. The applicant has requested annexation of approximately 1/3 of an acre and zone it RS10 residential single family, which is consistent with surrounding single family uses and zoning. Those present at the Planning Commission's May 13th meeting unanimously recommended it be annexed and zoned RS10, and it is before you for first reading tonight.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept this?
I so move.
Councilwoman Diggs made the motion, and a second from...
I'll second, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Broll, second the motion. Any comments from the public? Any comments from council? All those in favor? Council, motion passed unanimously. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, if I may, I'd just like to ask our city manager and our city attorney, you know, in the last few meetings, we've had quite a few annexations, which have been donut holes where, you know, the people approached us about annexing in. And I wondered if there was any way, excuse me, I'm sorry, that we could do a consent agenda to take just these simple, straightforward donut holes and have them annexed into the city, that would streamline our agenda so that we could spend more time on things that need more discussion, because a lot of times, you know, there's no one here that even speaks the owners or anything like that. How do we go about that?
Thank you, Ms. Broll. City Council could adopt a consent agenda for your City Council agenda. In order to do that, you would have to go through the process of amending the Aiken City Code that has the proposed agenda in the code, and so you would have to have 2 readings of that ordinance. We could do something similar to what Aiken County does with their consent agendas. We could bring that to council if that was your desire, and that could address what we believe would be non-confrontational matters, lump them all into one spot, and then you would probably reserve the right at some point, if it turns out that there's numerous questions about it, something that you put on the consent agenda, you could always move it.
Exactly. We wouldn't want to put anything on there that needed to have tremendous discussion or anything like that. But when we're talking about the last meeting, there were 4 in my district, 1 in Ed's, 1 in Ed's, and we spent quite a bit of time going through the motions of, you know, the motion, the second, all of that. So I would, again, like you said, I don't want to put anything on there or try to do it. So maybe we can discuss how to go about doing that. Thank you, and thank you, Madam Mayor, for allowing me to.
And yes, I know we've had that discussion over the years, and I guess that we can certainly bring that forward. I know in the past the council decided to leave the to not broach the subject, but I guess too, as the city attorney stated, if we have the ability where if there is an item that is of great public interest, the council can move it off of consent agenda to the regular agenda for discussion.
It could be pulled off right away. Yes. Okay.
And
thank you very much.
Would that only be residential or for everything?
Residential, I would think, because I'm talking about donut holes that we've had
Right.
a lot of them come in, which is really a benefit to our city and to the residents. And there's no one here to speak for it or against it. It's just, you know, a perfunctory kind of thing. So those are the ones I'm referring to.
One thing, and again, I don't know the case with each of these. We have annexation agreements with many properties. Maybe the way to handle this in the least controversial way possible would be that as part of amending the agenda, if council wants to go the route of amending the agenda section of the city code, is we note that if a property to be annexed is due to a pre-existing annexation agreement, that it automatically goes on a consent agenda, but that the council reserves, some language that council reserves the right to remove it off the consent agenda. That might be, I guess, the best way, since what you're speaking of, it sounds like, is these routine so-called donut hole type annexations.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And probably some of those, if we have to vote on those are brought in through an agreement that they sign when certain things are approved, correct?
That is correct. In 2016, council passed a resolution that any property that is not in the city that asks for city services, meaning water and or sewer, must sign an annexation agreement that they will come in once they're contiguous. And these might fall into that category. Again, maybe they don't, but I know we have a large number.
We do. Could be, in some cases, yes, in some cases, no, but in general, they are the non-controversial, just donut holes. Yes.
Maybe we can pursue and discuss that further with council and with council. Yes, exactly, exactly.
I thought we'd done this once before, and somehow it came back to doing this, but anyway, that's good.
And Ed, you're right. I distinctly remember us doing this at least once.
At least once.
We had, one night, we had like 7 on the agenda, and they were non-controversial. And we did it.
My recollection is that we had 4 or 5 properties that were in very close proximity to each other, all on the same street. And so I simply just combined all of those into one. It was still one agenda item, but there was an opportunity for public. It wasn't a consent agenda. You could have talked about it if you wanted to.
Right.
And the public could have commented on it.
Well, maybe we need to just check into that further, and thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing that up. The next item is first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to annex 744 Collins Avenue and at RS 15 residential single family. Mr. Beanville.
Thank you. It is an ordinance to annex property located at 744 Collins Avenue and zone the same RS 15 residential single family, approximately 0.17 of an acre. The proposed zoning is consistent with surrounding single-family uses and zoning. Those present at the May 13th Planning Commission meeting unanimously recommended its annexation. It's before you for first reading.
Thank you. Is there a motion to pass this ordinance to annex? Councilwoman Woltz. And
I'll second, Madam Mayor.
Second from Councilwoman Broll. Any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Unanimous. Motion passed. Thank you. Next, we'll have first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to annex 3037 Old Powder House Road and zone it PR, Planned Residential.
Thank you. It is an ordinance to annex property located at 3037 Old Powder House Road and zone the same Planned Residential PR. It is approximately 9.83 acres. The requested zoning is consistent with surrounding residential uses and zoning. It is a multi-family development contiguous to Powder House Landing. Those present at the May 13th Planning Commission meeting, the commissioners unanimously recommended its annexation and zone planned residential.
Thank you. Do we have a motion, please, to accept that?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Price
I second.
and Councilwoman Diggs second the motion. Any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. Motion is unanimously passed. Next is first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to rezone property located at Abbeville Avenue Northwest and Perrin Street Northwest from general business to residential, multifamily, low density. Mr. Beanville.
Thank you. This is an ordinance amending the zoning of real estate located at Abbeville Avenue Northwest and Perrin Street Northwest from general business GB to residential multifamily low density RML. This is the rezoning of 2 parcels located at this northeast corner of the intersection. This property is designated as residential. The intention is to develop the property based on the application for single-family homes. The existing GB zoning restricts single-family residential development to 50% of the land area of a larger mixed-use project and allows various retail and service uses that would be incompatible with the area. Rezoning it to RML, residential multifamily low density, would allow the intended single-family residences. This has 2 combined properties to allow for several residential lots as shown on the screen. All those present at the Planning Commission, the commissioners voted unanimously to recommend that it be rezoned from GB general business to RML residential multifamily, low density, and it's before you for first reading this evening.
Thank you. I need a motion.
Madam Mayor, this is a area that I grew up in, on Perrin Street especially, and it is my motion to adopt this on this first reading.
That is from Councilwoman Price, made the motion, and a second
I second.
from Councilwoman Diggs. Thank you. Any comments from the public? Comments from council?
I just want to say that this is an area that has a lot of history and has in the past had a lot of attention. It was an area years ago that after a certain hour, you would not dare walk alone in the community. Now it is a highly safe community, and it keeps changing with investors coming in and investing in that area. So thank you, council.
Thank you. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Next, we have a first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to rezone property at the intersection of Gregg Avenue and Derby Lane from RS 15 to limited professional. Mr. Blumenbell.
Thank you. This is entitled an ordinance amending the zoning of real estate located at 115 Gregg Avenue Northwest and zoned by Aiken Unitarian Universalist Church from residential single-family RS-15 to limited professional LP. This is approximately 1.1 acres. Being asked for council to consider rezoning to limited professional. The existing zoning allows for single-family residence, while special exceptions may be granted for other limited uses such as the existing church use. The rezoning to LP limited professional would continue the allowance of single-family residences while allowing additional types of residential development such as duplexes and single-family attached units. Other permitted uses include medical and other office uses, with a special exception that may be granted for church use. All those present on the Planning Commission at their May 13th meeting unanimously voted that rezoned to limited professional from residential single-family RS-15. It's before you tonight for consideration for first reading.
Thank you. Need a motion for to rezone this property?
Hate to dominate, but this is an area that I represent as
That's
well.
right.
Another change coming. Mayor, the motion is to approve this on first reading, and the next move it to the next hearing.
Thank you. Councilwoman Price made the motion. A second from Councilman Waltz. Thank you. Any comments from the public? Comments from the council? All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. The next item under new business is first reading of an ordinance to rezone property at 1725 Whiskey Road from general business to planned commercial and approve a concept plan. Mr.
Thank you. This is an ordinance amending the zoning of real estate located at 1725 Whiskey Road from general business GB to planned commercial PC and approve a concept plan. The applicant and owner is requesting approval to open a restaurant on this site. Since it is in the overlay zone, a rezoning from GB general business to PC planned commercial is required, as well as a concept plan approval. This must be reviewed by the Planning Commission and approved by council according to the relevant section of the zoning ordinance. This is a vacant sit-down restaurant with a drive-through facility currently. The applicant proposes to renovate the existing building and reconfigure the parking lot circulation and add landscaping along the frontage. 26 parking spaces will be provided, which will allow for up to 78 restaurant seats. Existing access to the site will be maintained. The access consists of a right-out only driveway onto Whiskey Road and a full access drive for Taylor Street. The current Whiskey Road driveway width is excessive for a one-way drive. The application states an intention to retain all three existing trees and plant 2 trees along the Whiskey Road frontage. Shrubbery will also be planted for screening. A freestanding sign is not indicated on the concept plan. The property currently has a sign pole near the Taylor Street corner, but PC zoning requires a monument-type sign with a maximum height of 18 feet and sign area of 75 square feet. The project is in the planned commercial zone. In the commercial zone must meet the criteria set forth in the zoning ordinance to the maximum extent feasible. The application maintains and also mentions improving the dumpster enclosure to meet current city standards. They will retain 2 existing access points and a 9-car stacking for the drive-through. The installation of a grease interceptor system will be installed in compliance with current standards. One building, which is at least 20 feet from, the concept plan shows one building which is at least 20 feet from buildings on adjacent properties. We have the proposed architectural elevations in your packet. The drive-through menu board will be relocated to the southeastern corner of the building. And a traffic impact analysis is required if 100 or more trips are gained during peak hour of traffic generation. The applicant provides information that the peak of 12 to 1 averages 70 trips at a time, so traffic study is not warranted. Those present on the Planning Commission at their May 13th meeting unanimously recommended the rezoning and concept plan be approved with the following conditions. 1, that the one-way drive width be reduced to 18 feet and signage and road marking added as necessary. 2nd, that the developer introduces additional open space as feasible to bring the site into compliance with open space requirements. 3rd, that the dumpster shall be brought into compliance with current city standards. 4th, that the developer complies with any requirements from SCDOT or the City of Aiken traffic consultant. 5, that a revised concept plan listing conditions of approval and any changes required by City Council be submitted within 180 days. 6, that the applicant shall sign an agreement stating the conditions of approval within 180 days. And 7, that the sign be a monument sign no more than 11 feet high and 50 square feet. This is before you for consideration this evening for first reading.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion from council?
So move, Mayor.
Councilwoman Price made the motion.
And I'll second. It's going to be good to have that filled and not sitting empty.
Yes.
Yes. Do you remember when it was Mr. Gaddy's back in the day? Mm-hmm. Okay, any comments from the public? Comments from the council? All those in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Next, we have first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to rezone 16.21 acres at Sunday Avenue Northeast and Jake Place Northeast and approve a concept plan. Mr. Beedenville.
Thank you. This is an ordinance amending the zoning of real estate located at Sunday Avenue Northeast and Jake Place Northeast from residential single-family RS10 to PR plan residential and approve a concept plan. This property, the applicant is requesting rezoning of approximately 16.21 acres located at Sunday Avenue and Jake Place from to plan residential. They are requesting approval of a concept plan for the proposed construction of 144 multifamily dwellings in 6 buildings with a clubhouse office, 3-story residential building. Each building will be 3 stories. It will have access from Sunday via an improved Jake Place, which is currently a private street. Since this is in the PR zone, a concept plan must be reviewed by the Planning Commission. The comprehensive land use and transportation plan future land use map designates this area as residential. Most adjoining parcels have the RS10 zoning with single-family dwellings, a telecommunications tower, and a church. Nearby to the north is a large undeveloped tract which was recently rezoned to plan residential PR. To the east is a multifamily development zoned RML residential multifamily low density. Multifamily uses are not permitted with the RS10 zoning. The PR plan residential would allow a full range of residential uses to include a concept plan, or provided a concept plan is submitted for review. This ensures that appropriate new residential development will protect nearby residences. Currently, the parcel is undeveloped with extensive tree coverage. The concept plan denotes 144 multifamily dwellings with 18 one-bedroom, 78 two-bedroom, 39 three-bedroom, 9 four-bedroom units, ranging in size from 840 to 1,375 square feet. With a brick and fiber cement exterior, 231 parking spaces, which is 15 more than required. One access point is proposed from an improved Jake Place, as noted earlier. There will be 7.04 acres of open space out of the 16.21 acres, which equals 43%. Half of the required open space must be enhanced for passive or active recreation use. So we have a dog park, playground, picnic shelter, and grassed play field. A monument sign is required for planned residential projects. The project is allowed one single or double monument sign at the project entrance. Since the highest expected peak hour trips of 83 is 83, that does not trigger a traffic study. The Planning Commission reviewed this at their May 13th meeting. Those present unanimously recommended rezoning to PR with the following conditions: that the development provides the minimum 50% active and passive recreation space, that the development complies with the City of Aiken tree preservation buffer and landscape requirements, that the applicant submits a revised concept plan stating the conditions of approval within 180 days, and that the applicant signs an agreement stating the conditions of approval within 180 days, and that fencing is added behind the parcels fronting Edry Avenue. And this is before you this evening for first reading.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept that?
This is my district, Madam Mayor, and I am honored to vote in favor of it and make this motion. And I'd like to say something before we have more input. Jen Wilkinson, who is with Ulysses Development, wanted to make sure that she heard from residents in that area that would be impacted by this development. Now, this is workforce housing, something that we desperately need.
Yes.
And she drove from Charleston Saturday morning to meet with the Schofield Association to answer any questions that they might have in reference to this property. I'm sorry. Sugar Hill. Did I say Schofield? Sugar Hill Association. And some of the residents that were there Saturday actually will be living, their homes are in front of this property. And my home is almost across the street from this property. I have no problems with it. I love the amenities and all of the plans for the different units, as far as they're offering 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, and 4 bedroom. And it's going to be affordable. It's not going to be free. You have to work to live here. And I just love the whole concept. And just thank you for making sure that everyone was satisfied with what this development will bring. So I make the motion to accept.
I second that.
Okay, and Councilwoman Price seconds the motion. Thank you. Any comments from the public? Good evening. How are you, Miss Barbara?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Barbara Williams, and I'm president of the Sugar Hill Neighborhood Consortium. And as Ms. Diggs had said, Jen Wilkinson came out to meet with us on this past Saturday. and lots of information was shared. It was very positive, very constructive, very thorough, and very thoughtful. Most of the residents we've talked to since that meeting are in favor of this because it is affordable housing. And we really appreciate that very, very much, as well as other housing that will come into the area, because we do recognize that where there's rooftops and where there's people, that means businesses, more businesses will come. And we are definitely in favor of all of that. So with the parameters, you know, of being income-based and the property with the kind of amenities and accessories that'll be there, gated community, clubhouse, we think is a great project. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to make a comment? Good evening.
Good evening. Jen Wilkinson, 1121 Park West Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Thank you, Mayor, council persons, and staff. Was involved with this project about 2 years ago, and y'all did pass it unanimously as well for a rezoning. Unfortunately, the project did not get awarded its tax credit, so it was not able to be purchased and developed. So we are bringing it to you again. It's a very similar concept. I feel like we kind of reached out, like you said, a little bit better this time than last time. We've designed the property so it won't encroach on top of the folks that are next door. We do not have any outdoor patios on our buildings. We have interior sunrooms that gives the interior more space to live, but you also don't have exterior noise by eliminating those patios. We do have a picnic area, a playground, dog park, walking trails. So we do have a lot of outdoor amenities. So those are away from the homes, so the residents can go and enjoy those out away from the homes that are in that area. Want to also let you recognize that this is also in the priority growth zone of your CRP plan. So it does target housing in this area. So I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that this is in that area as well. It's an opportunity zone and a qualified census tract. We are proposing 144 units, 1 through 4 bedrooms. We did a market study and we were really shocked to realize that you need 4-bedroom apartments here. We normally build 1, 2, and 3s because of square footage. You know, the higher you go, the more it costs to build. This will be a $40 million project that we're going to build, just to kind of give you guys a number. And the rents as well, they're run from $700 to $1,200 a month. We are the owner. We're a long-term owner for over 15 years. We'll be their neighbors. We've open communication. We'll be attending their meetings. We'll make sure that we are the kind of neighbor for the next 15 plus years to the residents in that area. Also, we wanted to let you know that we do have third-party management, but our apartments are affordable, but we do still have to be employed. We do credit checks. We do not allow criminal background history, and we also do limit the number of people that live in our apartments. We are not a Section 8 property. We're not public housing. We are private owners that are building affordable workforce housing in the area. We are also looking forward to having a relationship with the Sugar Hill Consortium with our clubhouse. We're going to offer amenities there for the residents, such as their literacy council to be able to come in and give services to our residents, as well as we'll allow banks come in, teach them about banking, health services, health screenings. We want to make sure that this is a place where people, they don't have to leave their home for services such as that, flu shot. We'll have some type of a forum in our clubhouse, and they can go straight there and get shots or whichever, any kind of health needs, blood pressure checks, etc. We talked about the amenities. I want to also reiterate on the parking. According to your zoning ordinance, there are 216 required parking spots. We are building 236. There's a little cutout that's yellow between Jake Place and the church, and we have approached the owner of that property to purchase it as well, because we like to either leave that as a little parking area if we need to have more parking, or just leave it open space as well. And then we have the fence that we've added behind Edgery Avenue. I wanted to let the neighborhood know on Saturday that we have designed our buildings not only with the patios not being on the buildings, it's sunrooms interior, that we've moved the buildings to your setbacks. We are leaving a tree buffer as well as adding the fence, so they are not concerned with any noise coming from the property. And I appreciate your time this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Comments from council other than?
I have a comment, Madam Mayor. Ms. Wilkinson, I will have to say that Gail Diggs has echoed your name to me more than you can imagine what's coming with you. The idea that you're bringing in the mixed use with the bedrooms and other amenities, but it is affordable workforce housing. The plan, the unit mix is more than you can imagine to this community, but also the design as well. This is just incredible of what you put together.
Thank you.
Personally, I'm extremely pleased, and I want to wish you many, many blessings for what you brought to our city. We've been waiting to see something like this, where people are proud to say that is where I live, that is where my children reside, and the mixture of programs you have coming to that area as well.
Thank you. And it's nice to have folks that understand there's not a stigmatism around this housing. This is a step housing.
It is.
It is where you go to get your credit on track and get your savings so you can move and be a homeowner at some point. That's what our job is, to make sure people can have that American dream.
And I want to thank the Sugar Hill Association as well. Thank you all.
Mayor? This is pretty exciting. Leslie alluded to where she grew up being a tough area. It wasn't very long ago. This was a really tough. And I know, and Gail lived in the middle of it all, of all the stuff going on. And the PR above it, that's Norman Dunnigan's subdivision that is proposed that's coming along. The RS8 is part of that as well. It's pretty exciting to see this type of stuff and see this apartment complex come along. It's great.
Well, thank you for coming back and making it happen. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you so much. Next is first reading of an ordinance to rezone 19.04 acres at Rutland Drive and DuPont Drive from residential single-family to planned residential and approve a concept plan.
Thank you. This is an ordinance amending the zoning of real estate located at Rutland Drive and DuPont Drive Northwest from residential single-family RS10 to planned residential PR and approve a concept plan. This is property on the southern side of Rutland Drive, approximately 19.04 acres, for up to 192 multifamily dwellings and 8 buildings with a clubhouse. Each residential building will have 3 stories. Similar to the prior one, it is in the PR zone proposed with a concept plan, requiring a concept plan to be reviewed. Currently, the comprehensive plan describes this as a mixed-use area. This plan residential will allow for a full range of residential uses, provided the concept plan is submitted for review by council. Access is proposed from Rutland Drive and DuPont Drive. It is currently undeveloped with extensive tree coverage. 24 one-bedroom, 108 two-bedroom, and 63 bedroom units are proposed, ranging from 774 to 1,198 square feet. 3 stories with brick and fiber cement exterior. 290 parking spaces are provided, 2 more than what is required. It will need approval from DOT for proposed access to Rutland Drive and DuPont Drive. The concept plan indicates there will be 11.08 acres of open space, which is approximately 58% of the total acreage. Half of this open space must be enhanced for passive and active recreation. They include a pavilion, playground, dog park, and walking trail. The project does allow 1 single or double monument sign at the project entrances. A traffic study would be required, since at the afternoon peak hour they're expecting 103 trips, which is 3 over the exceeding amount. The plan appears to address the compatibility issue by providing 25-foot natural buffers adjacent to residential properties. Those present at the Planning Commission's meeting on May 13th unanimously voted to recommend it be rezoned to planned residential and approve the concept plan with the following conditions: that the full traffic traffic impact study is submitted and approved by DOT and the city's traffic consultant and the developer construct any traffic mitigating measures identified as necessary. It complies with our tree preservation buffer and landscape requirements. That a sidewalk shall be provided along DuPont Drive from the proposed development to the intersection with the existing Rutland Drive sidewalk to include a pedestrian crossing to Aiken High School and to include other pedestrian crossings that may be found necessary per the Safe Streets for All Action Plan. That the applicant submit a revised concept plan stating the conditions of approval within 180 days. That the applicant signs an agreement stating the conditions of approval within 180 days. That the fire marshal approves the turn radius at the entrance of DuPont Drive. A median is added to the ingress and egress drives. That fencing or a natural buffer is added around the existing residences on the west side, and that a parking study is submitted to the city council. For council consideration is the rezoning of this property from RS10 residential single family to planned residential.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept this?
Motion made to adopt this, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Price.
Second.
Second from Councilman Girardeau. Any comments from council, the public? Sorry. Yes, sir.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Nate Broman-Folks, Vice President of Development for Taft Mills Group. We are the proposed developer of this site. Also joined by my colleague Rachel Sullivan, Assistant Vice President of Finance. We are really excited to have this opportunity to develop Fox Ridge Trace. You may recall, we're here a little over a year ago for a similar rezoning on a different site, also for a tax credit development. A similar story to the last developer. We were unable to get the tax credits on that project, but we are back and we have fallen in love with Aiken, and we know that there's a big need for this, so we never really left. We just kept looking. And so we're excited to have this opportunity for this development. It's very similar to what was proposed in the previous item. It's a affordable workforce housing development, mix of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units, very similar amenities and development style. So I won't repeat everything that you all just discussed for the previous item, but we also have a lot of amenities and on-site property management that is there full-time, security cameras throughout the site for resident safety, and have been working with the neighbors, talking with the neighbors and have agreed to put up screening, whether it be fencing or a natural buffer area. We'll work with them to put in whichever they prefer. Also on the parking subject that came up at the Planning Commission meeting, we have looked at it and believe we can add a few more parking spaces. And South Carolina Housing has a parking standard that is beyond the City of Aiken's parking requirements. And so we have been, of course, proposing more than Aiken's requirements, but we will also meet South Carolina Housing's tax credit development standard for parking as well. So that would add an additional 16 spaces there. So hopefully that meets the Planning Commission's interest and the city's interest as well. Happy to answer any questions that you all have. Yes, sir.
What do you have to do to get your tax credits? You couldn't get them before, you get them now. What did you do to?
So, good question. Yep. So there are actually two different types of tax credits, a 9% and a 4%. The previous project that we proposed, development that we went through the rezoning, that was a 9%. And so that has a completely different scoring criteria than what is being proposed tonight, which is the 4%. And that is, it's really based on how efficiently you build the site. You have to meet all the South Carolina housing standards, but then it becomes a competition of how do you limit the amount of state resources in the development. So that is, and we had a deep dive with city staff on this. but that is completely different than the criteria that we were looking at with the previous proposal, which is scored a whole different way. I'm happy to talk in more detail about it, but yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nate.
I've got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
For you, the original site was near Gregg Highway?
That's right, on Gregg Highway.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
I
Thank you.
remember. Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Comments from council?
Yes, Nate, folks have been waiting for a while for this. It is directly across from Aiken High School. And they've asked over and over, when is this coming? And now it's moving along, so we thank you for that. The transportation, I have gotten quite a few questions regarding that, but it appears that that's on the radar being worked out pretty well. So thank you for that. That's all I have to add, Madam Mayor.
Anyone else?
Dittos on the last comment from the previous issue.
All those in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Thank you. The next item is first reading of an ordinance to amend the concept plan for property at 176 Village Green Boulevard.
Thank you. This is an ordinance amending the concept plan for property located at 176 Village Green Boulevard. This is basically a waiver to the sign ordinance restriction limiting the freestanding sign size. The applicant is proposing that the single allowed freestanding sign be permitted on an existing brick wall between the apartment and the rear or northeast property line in order to have it face the apartment building parking lot. The sign ordinance calls for signs in PR to be permitted as in a similar district, which in this case is RMH, residential multifamily high density. It allows for a maximum 32-foot size sign and a 6-foot sign height. The section states that the structure supporting a ground level freestanding monument sign shall not be included in calculating the area of the sign, and it prohibits the area of the supporting structure from exceeding 50% of the total combined area of the sign and supporting structure. Therefore, the overall size requires a waiver. No other elements of the previously approved concept plan is changing, and this is before you for consideration this evening.
Can I have a motion, please, to pass this?
I so move, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Broll made the motion, and a second
Second.
from Councilman Girardeau. Any comments from the public? Comments from council?
Madam Mayor, I would think that this would be a less obtrusive sign
I would think.
than a monument-mounted one, because it's on the wall that's already existing, correct? If I look at my packet correctly.
That's correct. And then also, just as a reminder, this is to the rear of the property. Yeah.
So that, in my view, this is a better way to do it. So I'm glad about that.
Anyone else? All those in favor then? That's a motion's passed. Next is first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you. This is an ordinance amending the budget of the city of Aiken for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025 for the Road Maintenance Fund, South Carolina Transportation Infrastructure Bank Grant. In December 2023, we executed an intergovernmental agreement for these improvements. As part of the process of receiving money from the Infrastructure Bank, we need to make a budget adjustment of $9,011,833 to account for these funds. This is before council this evening for first reading.
Thank you. Is there a motion for the first reading to pass this?
So moved.
Councilman Girardeau made the motion.
I'll second, Madam Mayor.
A second from Councilwoman Broll. Any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. The final item under new business this evening is first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to annex 29.43 acres on Wire Road to zone it planned residential and approve the concept plan. Mr. Biedenbow.
Thank you. This is an ordinance to annex property located on Wire Road and Explorer Trail and to zone the same planned residential PR and approve the proposed concept plan. The applicant is requesting annexation of approximately 29.43 acres located on Wire Road and Explorer Trail with planned residential zoning, which requires approval of a concept plan. This is a 188 lot townhome, single family attached development. Since this is this falls under our planned residential zone, so it requires a concept plan be reviewed by the Planning Commission and approved by City Council. These residences will be in 2, 3, and 4 unit buildings with covered rear and front porches, front-facing attached garages. The applicant has requested waivers from the following standards in the zoning ordinance. Number 1, restriction of front-facing garages to 30% of all attached single-family residences. Second, restriction of garages extending beyond the front residence wall. Third, restriction of driveway widths to 12 feet on lots with less than a 30-foot width. This has a residential density of 6.4 units per acre, which the PR zoning allows for a maximum density of 12 dwelling units per acre. The materials are to be brick, stone, and vinyl siding. The open space requirement for the proposed development is 20% of the overall acreage. The project narrative denotes that 10.65 acres will be provided of open space. At least half of this must be passive or active recreation. The concept plan denotes 7.8 acres of non-recreation area and 2.85 acres of active recreation area. A tree preservation study and replacement calculations needs to be done, and a minimum 10-foot undisturbed buffer is required between the development and any parcel of land or zoned or used residentially. A minimum 25-foot planting strip is required along the Wire Road frontage, which the concept plan provides. Also, 20-foot building separations is provided in the concept plan. It has access to relevant utilities. Sidewalks will be installed on both sides of each street within the development, which is required whenever a development is within 1/2 mile of a public school. The zoning ordinance requires that each single-family dwelling unit should have space for 2 off-street parking spaces. The architectural renderings show the proposed residences will have attached garages that are single car, they will have attached garages, and those with a single car garage is required to have an additional driveway parking space. The concept plan shows 20 additional guest parking spaces in groups of 5 distributed throughout the development. There is one public access point from Wire Road, which is a DOT maintained thoroughfare. The existing median length measures approximately 150 feet. The applicant has requested a waiver to the minimum 200-foot requirement. This applicant has been in contact with the school district about a proposed emergency access from Explorer Trail on the adjacent property. The traffic management ordinance requires a traffic impact analysis when the proposed development is projected to generate 100 or more trips per peak hour during peak hour. It is expected that this development will require a full traffic impact study. The one-story buildings and adequate buffers will allow the proposed development to be compatible with the neighboring residences. The Planning Commission, those present at their May 13th meeting unanimously voted to deny this request. And that is the recommendation from the Planning Commission. Should council consider this and wish to approve it, we recommend conditions for approval include the following: that the development provides the required active or passive open space, the development complies with our tree preservation buffer and landscape requirements, that waivers be granted to the attached single-family standards in zoning ordinance section 4.2.9.b.2 regarding driveway widths and sections 4.2.9.c.4 regarding garages. A waiver is granted to land development regulation section 5.6.2 to allow an entrance median of 150-foot length. A traffic impact study shall be developed submitted and approved by SCDOT and the city's traffic consultant, and the development shall construct any traffic mitigating measures identified as necessary, that the applicant submit a revised concept plan stating the conditions of approval within 180 days, and that an applicant sign an agreement stating the conditions of approval within 180 days. This is before council for first consideration and first reading this evening.
Thank you. Does anyone want to make a motion?
So moved.
Councilman Volz made the motion. Do we have a second?
Based on, in the past, we've let things go and not do it, but then it came to light that we should at least give everybody their chance to speak. I'd also like to get the developer up here and explain to us what this new, if this is new at all. It looks about the same thing. Anyway, I'll make a second.
Okay, so he seconded the motion, Councilman Girardeau. And that being said, we'll have comments from the public, please.
All right, before we do that, and we can get straight on this, I'd like to hear from the developer and talk a little bit. Is this new that was put out? All right, this was sitting in front of us when we got here.
I'm Joseph Galino. I'm Vice President of Land Development for Bill Beasley Homes. My address 5139 Glastonbury Court in Beach Island. That plan you have there, which is not quite that one. At the Planning Commission meeting, there was brought up about what the amenity center, where that square is right above the pond is, what we were going to do. So what I did is I had my engineer draw in, looks, I can't say, but you have that one. Is that the one you're asking about?
Yeah, that was in front of us tonight. Before
There is a new one I sent over to planning this morning, which showed a pickleball court, a pavilion, and a circle, which was showing like a play area. I don't know if that's what you're looking at. I do have a copy of that if you need to see that.
So I see what you're saying. You've added the original, that's the original.
That's
I would
the
take it.
Yes.
Which had none of the, okay, that was one objection. There were quite a few that got you voted.
Yeah, we just added in the amenities, showing it a little bit more in detail.
Okay, so the rest of it, the homes, it was 188 units.
Yes, that didn't change.
And the whole layout is the same with the frontage coming into Wire Road. And planning could not, in any stronger words, turn this down.
Well,
0 to 5. In my opinion, planning, we nominate them. They work for us in terms of they don't get paid anything. They're doing it for free, but they're all experts in their own right.
Right.
And they were adamant to turn this down. And of course, it's your option to come to us. My feeling is I would change some other things too. I don't know what is it with the school road?
Say again, sir. What is it?
The school road, which is Explorer Trail.
Right.
You have to get
Not doing
permission?
anything on Explorer Trail. I met and spoke with, I think it's Mr. Jarrah from the school district. And he wanted to have, and the fire department also, I think your fire department also wanted emergency access.
No, I understand.
We were going to make that a open access for anybody. It's actually Mr. Jarrah wanted it to be just closed off. He did not want cars coming from that neighborhood on out. So we proposed to put the gates up, one at Explorer and the other one just past the house up there with a Knox box. Now, I'm not familiar with it, but that's what the fire department wanted. So we were going to do that. One of the issues brought up by the Planning Commission, I wish I remember what commissioner it was. He talked about a second entrance. I've included in your package a note from Kevin Weber of the South Carolina Department of Transportation saying that the DOT would not approve a second entrance between where my entrance is and where Explorer Trail is.
Okay.
Now, we do
That
have-
was a question I had,
We
yes.
do have a draft that came in on the traffic study. I've read a little bit of it. One thing they are recommending, the DOT, my traffic engineer, is there's a 3-lane right at Explorer Road, which allows people to come into the 1 lane to make a left.
Mhm.
I will have to extend that all the way to my entrance. So I'm gonna be redoing that whole road just about. And of course, that probably is an overlay.
Okay.
I can answer more questions, or if you want to hear from these good citizens first, that's fine.
Well, it's not a matter of not hearing from them. I know what they're here to say. They've sent it to us, and I was at the planning session, as was Councilwoman
Right.
Diggs and Councilwoman Price. All three of us sat there and listened to it. They voted 0-5.
Yeah.
I think your best bet is to get all of that together, what you're talking about, continue this, and go back to planning with all the new things and see if planning will accept that, if that works
Well,
in
if
it.
I knew what planning had a problem with, that would help.
They pretty much
They
stated
didn't tell,
some
they
of the
didn't
things.
say it. I haven't
Well,
received anything.
I would get with planning. Mario's here; she's the head of it, and talk to them about what would work to make this work. Otherwise, I don't know that the numbers are here for you.
The thing is, with this project, you just listen to 2 of my colleagues here talk about multifamily and rentals.
Right.
This is the next step.
Yeah, I don't
People
know.
who are in rentals can come and afford a $260,000 townhouse. This is the next move for those residents of your neighborhoods, right next to a school, where you can walk to school like I did when I was growing up.
Yeah, and I understand
That's
that.
where we're going with that.
And again,
What you're saying, Councilman, I understand that explicitly. But we are meeting pretty much all of the requirements of the PR. There'll be an HOA in this neighborhood that will manage the properties and take care, and that's usually run by our development company while we go on. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right.
You said-
and they express concerns about density,
understand.
access, and all of that is part
But
of
the
it.
density, your PR allows 12 units per acre. I'm at 6.
I understand that.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. I keep
That's
in front of
okay.
you.
That's okay. I don't have a problem with the development, but I have a problem with the location. And unlike the Rutland Drive and
Yes.
DuPont, we just
Yeah,
approved, they're on a 4-lane highway.
I understand.
This is a 2-lane highway,
I know.
very busy. It's in my district.
Say again?
It's in my district.
Oh, okay.
But I heard from so many residents about this, and I drove around, and not just one day. I took a few hours yesterday, and at different times, I would drive up Wire Road and down Wire Road, but what I remember most is, for years, I took my neighbor's daughter to North Aiken Elementary School when she was little, and then when she got older, Aiken Intermediate. Trying to get in and out on Wire Road during school time is literally impossible. And several times I pulled out and almost got hit. And yesterday, I mean, I thought I was driving 50, 55. I thought that was good, but people were taking around me on the road. And it was a Sunday afternoon, way after church, and I'm thinking, where the devil are y'all going? Because there was no need to drive that speed on that road. And it's curvy too. But I thought about how dangerous it is and how easy it is for someone who is taken around you. And I mean, he just did miss one of the cars that was oncoming. With all of this development, and the schools right at it. I can't in good conscience vote in favor of this location. I love the development, but I would love to see it a little farther up that's not close to the schools, just farther up.
You described some existing issues and problems on Wire Road. Those problems are still going to be there tomorrow. Will my development help it or not? The traffic engineer will determine all of that. That's why we paid the $20,000 or more to have a traffic study performed, and we will do whatever that traffic study defines for us to do. Like I said, you'll have a 3-lane road going up past my entrance.
Well, I don't even like the fact that they're not giving you an extra entrance.
I'd say,
But-
well,
The school, the extra entrance.
from the school.
Right. DOT. I mean, that part of that highway is so dangerous. The only way you could convince me to vote in favor of that now is that they put a traffic light right there. And I doubt if they're gonna do that.
Yeah,
But
the DOT
it's
problems.
very much needed. But yesterday, a quiet Sunday afternoon, I'm just driving. And folk taking around me, right in that area. I think driving like, excuse me, the expression, the bat out of hell. I'm like, but I remember how difficult it was getting in and out of those schools to take Braylon to school, and how some mornings and some afternoons I was like that because it was so many people coming down that road that wasn't slowing down, wasn't letting me in. And then when I got on the road, almost running me off the road.
Now, isn't that a school district? Aren't they supposed to do 25 or 30?
They do
I'm
what?
not asking about Sunday. I'm asking, you seem to be concerned about school. I'm just asking.
What about the school?
That's a school district, so they should be slowing down. Now,
Well,
why
they
they're not
don't.
On a Sunday, I
Right.
can't answer that.
On the school mornings, they don't really slow down.
Then
Not the way they used
They
to.
They
I
should.
know. I
And
know.
think Aiken
It's
County needs to be
disturbing.
officer out
It's
there.
very disturbing.
Yeah.
It is.
That's not, you know.
It is.
Again-
But I love the
I
concept.
appreciate that.
I just
think that's something that Aiken County Sheriff's Department should post somebody out there. I mean, I live in the neighborhood. Sometimes they run that stop sign. We got an Aiken County Sheriff sitting there now, and he nailed 7 people. They're all complaining about it, but we got them. Sometimes that's all you can do. But I appreciate your comments.
Madam Mayor?
Say again?
Madam Mayor, I have a
Yes.
couple questions.
Councilwoman Broll has a question
Oh,
for you.
Galena?
I'm sorry.
Are you still asking for, there's 3 waivers in our memo, restriction from front-facing garages to 30%, and restriction of garages extending beyond the front residence wall, and restriction of driveway widths to 12 feet on lots less than 30 feet, and one more,
Yes, the 150.
the waiver to the entrance median from 200 feet to 150 feet.
Right.
So there's 4 waivers.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, yes, sir, in the very back.
Good to have those in there.
Thank you.
Um,
My name's Alan Ferraro. I live.
Let me just tell him,
Oh, I'm sorry.
but you're next. Sorry.
My name is Joe Connor, and I live in Wire Road Polo Property Owners. That's catty corner from that. And we are opposing it because by rule of thumb, for every house that you have in that development, you're going to have 2 cars. And that's 180 some times 2. We won't be able to get out on Wire Road at all. It's bad enough already. It's going to get 10 times as bad. And our neighborhood is opposing it for safety reasons, that road is really hazardous now. And if you get 2,000 more cars out there, you won't be able to go anywhere. And this is happening all over the city. The small town atmosphere in Aiken is disappearing because you got one place, another place, all these cars. You can't even go down Whiskey Road like you did years ago. So I just like to leave that with y'all.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Please don't vote this one in. Get it out of here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alan Ferraro. I live on 236 Wire Road. I live right in front of this place, right about where the entrance is. This is the worst plan I've ever seen in my life, I'll be honest with you. It's very dangerous. What you're not seeing here is where the entrance is. If you go up past where you can't see the map, that's a sharp turn, okay? Everybody knows they're going fast there. You can't even put a light in there because if there's a light there, by the time they saw it, it'd be too late. They're still running 50 miles an hour. I'm telling you, people are gonna go fly through that turn right there and you cannot see that entrance in time. And there's many people that are gonna be coming out. I wanna iterate as well about the traffic that it's going to cause. I don't know if y'all know, but they passed something that all the school buses in Aiken County are gonna be parked at this school now. That's adding to the traffic as well. I mean, it's just way too much. I want to say one thing about these developers that I've been listening to today. I really my hats off to them because this developer at the last meeting, he stormed out of here, hollered in this very room at us and says he was not going to talk with us. That is who we're dealing with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dorina Booz. I live at 518 Orangeburg Street, Northeast. Used to, right now I'm staying at 691 Murrah Road, Apartment A, because a tree fell on my house. I work at Aiken Intermediate, and next year I'm going to be working at North Aiken as well. In order for this gentleman's plan to succeed, you would have to widen Wire Road instead of 2 lanes, 4 lanes. That would take up people's property on the side, and I know nobody would be happy about that. I think this is a really bad idea. There is no way that people will want their property jacked up and taken away so that we can build 4 lanes. Now, I'm not saying that might not need to happen one day. We can't stop progress. We can't stop people from moving to Aiken. But Lord, have mercy. I just don't think this is a feasible or a good plan. I just don't. I'm not trying to be funny, but that $20,000, you should have given it to everybody that's in this room, and we would have told you the same thing. No. I know we've got to grow. I know we've got to change, but this is not a good idea. For one thing, it would increase the population of both of those schools by maybe 50%, 20, 30. But, with people coming in, it's just not feasible. There's nothing set up to sustain and make this idea work. You would need 4 lanes. You would need traffic lights all up on Wire Road. This is not a good idea. This is not a good plan. It's not, and I hope it does not succeed. I hope nobody agrees to do this, because this is just going to wreak havoc. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Ed Wilson, and I own Georgia Carolina Bell Bonds right there on Wire Road, and right kind of diagonally across from Newbridge. I also own the house next door to it, and I used to own several other pieces there, but I also own the Handy Randy's shop down there, the construction company down there, where they're proposing putting this, whatever you want to call it in there, but talk about traffic and things. It's harder than heck for us and the people that's living next door to my place to get out of onto Wire Road. I'm a ex-cop or whatever, but that's a former cop and not no ex, but anyway. And we've had people out there doing road studies. We had state troopers out there. These guys, and as the young lady and everybody was saying, they come over that road, top that hill there by the church, just before you get to my building, and they're doing at least 70, 80 miles per hour. So several of my employees was coming out, almost got hit on that. And I think there should be a major traffic study done on this thing. I don't know if there's one done or not. Excuse me, one done or not. But it's we got a major traffic out there, and again, you know, they're speeding like heck down through there. The property I own is going to decrease in value down by where the construction company's at, the Handy Randy construction. There's woods between there and up to the 239 house that I own. I don't know the woods, but I own the 2 pieces of property. And every morning, the deers come out there and, you know, hang around in the woods and things of that nature. There's birds out there and things. I mean, it's just, you know, it's a sanctuary for the deers. It's a sanctuary for the animals, period. And my gentleman back here, you know, he's got a driveway that comes up a little bit to get into the Wire Road area, and it's heck trying to get out of his place. Or I've been there and visited with him and things of that nature. But anyway, it's heck getting out of the driveway up onto Wire Road from his place. Coming out of my place, it's heck getting out of there. Like I stated before, I don't want to reiterate on everything, but I've had several employees almost got hit right there, and we don't need it. You're probably looking at not only the school area there, and I think I don't know how many buildings they're going to put in. I didn't get a plat of it or anything, but anyway, with all them people there, it's going to create a havoc not only for the school up there, like the gentleman stated earlier about the school buses and things. So, my personal opinion, I don't think this project needs to be approved. And I thank you, Mayor. I thank the council and everybody for listening to me ramble. Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir, for your comments, but thank you for your service as well. My
Madam
brother was a Vietnam
I'm going to take
vet.
this gentleman, and then you're next after that. Thank you.
I had a couple questions to ask.
Yeah. I actually pulled over in your lot yesterday to keep from getting hit.
Would you like him to come back
Yes,
up?
please.
Can you step aside for just 1 second and let Mr. Wilson?
I have a couple of questions.
She wanted to ask you a few
How long
questions.
have you lived in your area?
Let's see, I retired from the Army in 1996, and I bought the place, I think 98.
Okay.
And we've been there ever since.
Almost 30 years. Ideally, what would you like to see in it? I know that people have investments, they want to make a profit, but what would you like to see? Based on the residents that are here, I'm just curious to know, what would you like to see?
Well, I wouldn't mind, maybe some other businesses coming in there and putting in there, but
I'm speaking of homes.
Right.
What are you looking for in terms of homes?
Single trailers, single 2-bedroom houses or something of that nature. I own 10 acres right there where my building is
Okay.
at. And it goes all the way back, all right? Now, I was going to put a lot of junk in there, but it wasn't worth it.
Okay.
Not with $500,000 to put water and everything else in there. I had a little study done too, so. But I was going to put a mobile home park back there on a couple of acres of land and things I had back there, but, you know.
I was just curious in terms of
ma'am.
whether the residents would like to see something comparable to what they're living in right now built, those kinds of things.
Yes, ma'am.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My name's John Babish, B-A-B-I-S-H. I live at 5655 Reeves Street, Aiken, 29805. I live down Cook's Bridge. If you know this area, Cook's Bridge doesn't have a stop sign. Today, 5 cars tried to whip out in front of me to get off a Wire Road. You increase that population down Wire Road, it's going to become a nightmare. Traffic light isn't going to be the problem. It's going to be the problem that you have in the morning and in the evening with the buses from the school and people picking up their children. The line now extends down Wire Road or coming in from, I can't remember the name of the road. But anyway, they either get on Wire Road or get off of Wire Road. And Wire Road isn't just Wire Road that curves around. You have New Bridge and you have all these other roads that enter into it. So you have a congestion problem that is insurmountable if you add the number of vehicles and that much population density in a country setting. Let's remember that you put up this type of a population in a country setting where people moved out there to buy acreage and have a country home.
Mm-hmm.
They need to start looking at moving that to some place where they need the density population that will inhabit it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes. In the, I'm sorry, ma'am. I picked him. You'll be next.
Oh, he's already talked.
He is.
He's already spoken. He's already
Sorry,
spoken.
Sorry. Missed that.
He spoke first.
I'm sorry, I didn't recognize. Thank you.
Hi,
Sorry
my
about-
name's Carolyn McGovern, and my husband James and I own a 22-acre property at 110 New Bridge Road. And by the way, it is the oldest farmhouse in Aiken County, which has been
Wow.
restored by us at considerable investment. Yeah, I think you've heard a lot about the traffic issues that we expect to experience should this be approved on Wire Road, and I'm not going to talk to you about that. What I want to talk about briefly is what the planned residential zoning says. When I look it up on the internet, what do you guys say you're going to do with planned residential? What's your expectation? My understanding is the developer has to submit a concept plan, which he has, but this zoning is supposed to be for creative and enhanced use of property. And I have to say, when I envision what this is going to look like, I don't think it's a credit to the city of Aiken, and I don't think it's a credit to the planned residential zoning criteria. I think it will not be a place that people in the future will look back and be glad that they live there.
Mm-hmm.
If you imagine what those units are going to look like, they are going to look like, first thing you'll see is garages, and the second thing you'll see is going to be a lot of concrete, because you're going to have a driveway, you're going to have additional parking space, and you're going to have sidewalks on both sides and a paved road. That's a lot of concrete. I don't know where we get the green space here with the way this is laid out. It's very dense, and in that respect, it is not congruent with the other properties around the area. I think you asked about what do you want to see. I would like to see it to stay largely rural. Maybe right abutting the property is a horse farm on that side of Wire Road.
Wow.
My acreage is 22 acres, largely wooded. There are several other farms across the street from this property. Putting in 188 units on 29 acres is not congruent with what is there. And it will certainly devalue the properties around there, which my husband and I have made considerable investment in a very old and historic property in Aiken, and I certainly don't want to experience the devaluation that I would expect should this be approved. Thank you very much.
How long have you lived where you're living?
Beg your pardon?
What is your length of stay where you're living?
Where's my...
How long have you lived?
We bought the property about 3 years ago and
Okay.
finished the renovation about a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have seen it myself, and it's
Nice.
absolutely
Wow.
stunning.
Come visit. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm Gretchen Hefner. I live at 354 Wire Road, so I am a bit down from this proposed development. I agree wholeheartedly with the traffic. My farm is across from the new county animal shelter, so May Royal and Wire Road. And what hasn't been talked about that we experienced when the new animal shelter was put in was the immense disturbance to the surface ground and the groundwater. We had been promised certain things with when the animal shelter was put in. I'm happy it's there, we need it. But things were not addressed or pipes were open that weren't supposed to be. We literally lost our brand new driveway. It went off our driveway into Wire Road Polo. And when I tell you there was a ditch this deep, for 3 days they were stuck. People could not get out of Wire Road Polo. So I want also to bring to the fact I'm uphill of this. So this won't affect me. But I haven't heard anybody say, what are the issues going to be when all of this is done? You can build how many trenches you want, like they did along Wire Road for us, so that the water could go into these deep trenches. You can dig whatever, what are those things called? The groundwater retention ponds. But I am telling you, we are sand where we are. Sand moves. Our lay of our land, of our farm, in the 20 years we've owned it, has changed. You see the difference in, in the elevations and everything. So please, this is going to affect more than just traffic. This is going to affect, water, flooding issues, which we already have on Wire Road. Nobody's mentioned that before. And Wire Road also is interesting in that it starts city and then we turn into county. We are literally just over the county line where I live. It is residential and agricultural. And that's the beauty of Wire Road. That's why I fell in love with it. I could have moved out to 302. I could have moved down on 78. I loved Wire Road because I am literally 4 miles from downtown Aiken. I can get anywhere I need to go. And it's a special place. And that is going to ruin our combination of small homes that have been there for many, many years, along with the open land. I grew up in Chester County, Pennsylvania. It was Revolutionary War era, beautiful open land. Chester County sold their soul to the developer. I don't want Aiken doing that to a road that is beautiful, of a combination that you can drive and you see these homes, old and new. You see farmland, you see wooded area. It's lovely. Cooksbridge, Newbridge. We are so fortunate where we live. That is going to change our dynamic astronomically, and I really hope that you vote no for this. I know we have progress. Progress is always going to go beyond, we're not going to stay the same. But I think this is not the right fit. You asked somebody what they wanted to see here. A farm, open land. Do you know what I mean? Maybe divide it into 4 farms or some, or homes that want acreage, 4 or 5 acres, 6 acres, to the homes. That's what I want to see. I don't think this fits with us. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Who else would like to speak? Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Mayor and council people, my name is Pat Kahn, 187 Ware Road. That's my farm, the whole length of the bottom part of this unit here. And what I want to talk about is these people are trapped. They have privately owned land surrounding them except Wire Road. So once they're in there, there's no place for them to go. If they cross this green boundary, which is like an invisible boundary, they're trespassing. And there's nobody around here that's going to be happy to see their new neighbors. They're all going to be angry. The people will have to stay in here or come out the one public place, Wire Road, walk down Wire Road to the Beltway. I guess the nearest public place would be the new Aiken Safety Fire Department. There's no sidewalks. There's no place for them to go. They are trapped in there. And if they would put up a fence, because we all know that we'll have people coming on our farms. I have old buildings, I have trails all the way around my farm. They'll be over there in the first week, and all the people in Osborne, those people have horses. They don't want people wandering onto their place. None of us can be kind, good neighbors because we all need. And these poor people will have these 3 roads to walk up and down over and over again, and they can't escape unless they come home from work, get back in their cars, go out their one driveway and drive to a park or something. It's not like the other affordable housing areas that people can get out and walk to a park or get out and get in their car and go someplace. This is like a prison. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. It hadn't been mentioned. And, you know, I'd feel sorry for anybody that moved there. It just feels stifling to never be able to get away from it. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pat.
Anyone else would like to? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name's Will Tracy. I wrote to a few of you, and I thank for the timely response. I feel like I'm going to kick a dead horse, but I think it needs kicking a little bit more. What everyone has ignored for the most part, except one mention, was the plan to put another 160 school buses onto Wire Road and turn up Jaws Lane to park where those 2 schools are now. So imagine that. That's an enormous addition to the traffic on that road. Explorer Trail, it's not a highway. It's 2 lanes to a dead end. The dead end is the school parking lot. There's no sidewalks there. There's no space there. And like Pat just mentioned, once you cross that 2-lane highway, you're on Pat's property. You're not in any place that you can walk and run around and have a good time. The 2 lanes in Wire Road that run up there, you can't you can't create another 3rd lane there. You can create one of those little turning lanes, but it's not going to reduce the effect of the traffic that's coming through there. It's 0.8 of a mile from Newbridge Road to Rooney Mason Parkway. 0.8 of a mile. You've all heard the madness that already occurs. So now you add 160 school buses, at least twice a day, and maybe on weekends if they provide for sports and other activities, 186 home sites with 2 cars, and all the vehicles that service those home sites. FedEx trucks, UPS trucks, plumbers, electricians. Sadly, Wire Road's just not built for that. It would be reckless and negligent to add this kind of traffic to that space, 0.8 of a mile. It makes no sense. And then finally, The density for the location doesn't make any sense. It's not going to make anybody happy in the end. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
Todd Goff. Live on Osmond Drive. I'm in the top left corner, 1005. I just wanted to give some comments just from the back side of the property. I feed deer over the back of my fence. They come through all the time. My Ring camera one night went off for like 2 hours with deer in my front yard just back and forth. I would hate to lose the green space. I mean, I would love to buy the 5 acres behind me if the opportunity arose. I appreciate what Councilwoman Diggs said about this is just not the spot for this development. I mean, I like the idea of 4 family homes or whatever across there. That'd be great. It's just not the spot for that piece of property. And that's about it.
Thank you.
I remember the county council thing, one of the councilmen mentioned that it looked industrial. And that's what I see is it's like an industrial park. There's really, I see no green space or whatever he was commenting on. Nothing for the kids or anything, so.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mackenzie Morris, 1198 Carriage Drive. I'll keep it quick because I know we've been going forever, but I'd be remiss if I sat here for 2.5 hours and didn't at least run my mouth for a minute or two. So I actually live in a townhouse community. I love townhouses. I think townhouses are great. But my townhouse community backs up right against Millbrook and then on Collier and then Two Notch. It's right in the middle of town. And it's a wonderful area. And I walk across the street to Odell Weeks every day and like walk around the track. And I'm super happy that the Zaxby's is going to turn into a Freddy's, so I don't have to look at it every morning as an abandoned building. But I will agree that this is sort of out of the place and the density is really high and it doesn't feel like Aiken. I remember the townhouse project that was going to go over by the DMV of these like very gaudy like 3-story $550,000 townhouses. That also wasn't very Aiken. And then on top of that, like I bought a townhouse because I lived 18 years on a farm my whole life, and when I went to college, my one goal was to never have to step outside again. And I bought a townhouse with an HOA, so I never had to like mow a lawn or weed a yard or anything like that ever again. And townhouses are an amazing place. This August will be 8 years living in my townhouse. And I love my house, and it's the perfect starter home because like I didn't have a family and I didn't have a wife. I have a dog, and it's a cute dog that I can take on walks around my townhouse. But like 250,000, 260,000, actually, so I live in Ed Waltz's district. I just did a quick Zillow search. So right on like Two Notch, down to Powder House, up to Whiskey, there's 10 homes for sale for less than $220,000 that are right in the center of Aiken. When I bought my townhouse 8 years ago, it was $150,000. Like that's what a person that's starting his life is looking to buy in Aiken. And townhouses and this density is just too high. If you come to Laurel Oaks, it's a single loop. It's only 80 houses. There's 100 less houses in this location, and I can walk to Kroger's, although I have to play Frogger across Whiskey. But I can walk to the Kroger's, I can go to the FESEC, I can go to the gas station. Odell Weeks is there, and I am a little bit remiss because I live 1 block away from where I went to school as a child. But it is in the center of town, and I want Aiken to have more townhouses, but I want them to be more located in the walkability of the downtown area in the community. So thank you for your time, and I hope that we get out of here quickly. So thank you all for this marathon sprint of a
Thank you.
city council
We appreciate it.
seating. So
Thank you, Mackenzie.
So no farming for him. Anyone else would like to say something? Yes, sir. Good evening.
I'm Trey Jackson, and I'm probably the longest living resident there on Wire Road.
Oh.
I bought my farm in 1984 before the schools were there, and I have seen tremendous growth over the years. My main entrance was 190 Wire Road, right across from the old Gator Lane, and is now Explorer Trail. When they put the schools in, I had to move my another driveway closer to town. It's 184 Wire Road. And it is a very common occurrence during school for traffic to be backed up from Rudy Mason to that driveway, and that's a half a mile. And I have pictures of that. But at any rate, I thought I'd give you that tidbit of information.
Thank you.
Where the traffic was bad.
Thank you.
So Trey, you've seen a lot
Oh,
in
yes,
41
ma'am.
years.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Wow. You weren't the first in that area. At 41 years ago, there were others already established.
Well, it's a lot of history there.
Okay.
With the oldest home that Miss McGovern has.
Right.
But my original house was the site of Andre Pettigrew Austin Vandrost. Her daddy was the 67th governor of South Carolina, and that house burned down in 1915. And interesting enough, cleaning up from Hurricane Helene, and since I bought the place, I have been finding pottery shards with the hotel. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank now, but burned down.
It was
in
the Highland Park
Hotel.
Right.
Yes. And why those pottery shards are on my farm is anybody's guess, but so anyway, yeah, seen a lot of growth, and we certainly don't need this.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. Going once, going twice. Anyone else? I don't want to leave anyone out. Yes, there you are. I knew there would be one more person. That's great. Thank you. Good.
Sorry, I'm Nancy White. I live at 159 Wire Road, so I'm really right across the street from this as well. And just, I think I wrote all of you a brief note about just the character of the area, the kind of green space that it allows us, and Aiken. And it's just a wonderful road. Traffic sucks, but it's still a great place to live. But this kind of, this development would just, I mean, it's just the worst possible example of what everyone knows is the worst neighborhood type in the country. We got to ask better of these developers. We've got to ask, what do we want to see there? Yeah, single family homes, that would be fine. It's just, this is go to any textbook on urban planning, and this is what not to do. So please help, preserve some green space and give us give these people, whoever will buy on that property when it is developed, and I'm sure it will be developed, but give them something better. And thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, you all. Are we ready to vote? All those, any comments from the council?
Yep, call the question.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you all very much for coming.
They all have to stay till we're done.
We now move to petitions and requests. The first is a request from the Aiken Chamber of Commerce for use of Park Avenue for the Aiken-Smaken event. Mr. Biedenbow.
Thank you. Aiken-Smaken is scheduled for September 5th and 6th. This will be the 49th iteration, thank you. And since it moved east down Park Avenue, we have worked with them and closed the westbound lane of Park Avenue from Chesterfield to Union just before the railroad tracks. They plan to continue the recommendation for public safety that they expand their presence in the parkway green space and allow them to close the center left lanes on the east and westbound lanes earlier in the day to allow for vendor load-in. And they will continue to use the paved street on the westbound side of Park Avenue. The entire westbound side and half of the eastbound side of Park Avenue will continue to remain closed to vehicle traffic. This event is scheduled from 9 to 6 on Friday, September 5th, and 9 to 5 on Saturday, September 6th. And this is before council this evening for consideration.
Thank you.
Want to say something?
We don't have a motion yet.
I need the motion
Give a
first.
motion, but I'd like to say something too.
Because you did.
And I'll
Yes, sir.
second. You are making the
Making the motion, yeah.
Okay. And I'll second.
Need a second.
Councilman Waltz made the motion and Councilwoman Broll seconded. And yes.
All I know is I've talked to quite a few of the merchants down on Park Avenue, and the only complaint they really have, and they've been after me for a few years on this, is that they're not supposed to set up, I think it's before 2 o'clock on Thursday, if I remember right. But people show up at 9, 10 o'clock Thursday morning and park, and a lot of people have to close their shops down because they can't get to them. So that's the,
Mr. Tennyson, would you come up front, Mr. Tennyson?
They worked on this last year.
Thank you.
that's okay. Want me to repeat? You coming?
I'm sorry, Diane Phillips, 3509 Gamble Road, Aiken, South Carolina. I work at the Aiken Chamber of Commerce. The request before you was sent in by me. My boss, Jim Tunison, president of the Chamber of Commerce. We actually put out no parking signs on the sidewalk that morning. Last year, we added extra so that there would not be a cluster of parking across that median and taking those spaces or in front of businesses. We make a lot of effort to make sure that nobody's interfering with those businesses until 2 p.m.
And I
I do
understand.
have a problem with people setting up early, and I stop them from doing that, which puts me in a little bit of jeopardy, but technically, you haven't given us permission until 2 o'clock, and our insurance coverage doesn't start until 2 o'clock. So it's very important that our merchants not set up in the street or in the greenway until that time. So we do make every concerted effort to make sure that they are not obstructing traffic and parking during the day.
I think just a little more communication with those merchants on Park Avenue might help out.
Yep, and I'll tell you, last year, first year as president and CEO, I took it upon myself, and Diane and I went to every single business along Park Avenue to it's probably early August, the month before, just to give them a heads up, hey, Aiken's Macon's coming. This is, the run a show. This is when we'd be closing the streets down, just a reminder. And all the folks that we spoke with were very pleasant, didn't really have any complaints. So if you're hearing of those individuals, forward to us. I'd be glad to sit and talk with them, make sure that doesn't happen. But this year, we're even drafting a letter to go out and to deliver with those, that
With those
set run a
merchants.
show and for those merchants. So,
Yeah, that's all they need.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think our biggest complaint was the St. Mary's pickup line.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted to talk to us about because the line wraps around. It actually blocks it in front of the chamber too, but that was their biggest complaint when we walked that day.
Good deal.
Okay. Madam Mayor? if I
Yes.
may. Hi, how are you?
Good.
I understand there's 100 volunteers from the businesses downtown that help you with this. Is that correct?
We have about 100 people who volunteer with us. They are not necessarily from downtown businesses,
But from businesses?
but the Chamber's ambassador team who are all employed or are volunteers for other nonprofits that volunteer with us. We have folks who are no longer ambassadors who keep coming back to volunteer with us because they have a passion for it. We have representatives from banks, assisted living facilities, several nonprofits, but yes, they're all involved in businesses, and some are the business owners.
Well, this being the 49th year, I mean, that's almost as long as I've been here. But, I mean, it's an Aiken tradition, and I think there's lots of people
Well,
that
and-
look forward to it, and people that come from out of the area that bring money here.
Yes.
I ran into some people last year that they come and make a weekend of it.
Yes.
So they're eating in our restaurants, staying in some hotels. So that helps our economy. So
And I'd like to speak to that just quickly. I know we're running out of time here, but tourism was willing and gracious enough to share some stats from the Placer AI technology that the city uses to track some of that data. We've never been able to put an exact number of folks and visitors who've come to this until recently, right? So, and this is only the people have their location turned on their phone, so it's not capturing everybody. But generally, we've said between 20 and 30,000. That's what we've thought, right? But last year, Placer,
That's me.
was able to calculate over 17,000 total visits between the 2 days. Those visitors came from 26 different counties across South Carolina, Georgia, and the Southeast. 13 U.S. states were represented. And it was really cool because not only are you able to see where they come, you're able to see where they go after they come to Aiken's Macon. So I'll just name a couple of different places. And, of those 17,000, thousands of people go downtown. They go to the alley. A couple of the businesses that were mentioned on there, Mellow Mushroom, Taco Sushi, Park Ave Oyster Bar. And it's not just the downtown businesses either. They go to Feed Sack, to Sonic, Chick-fil-A, Walmart, Parker's Kitchen. So it's really a ripple effect for the local economy. So that's why I love that it's downtown. It's such a great showcase for Aiken, what makes this city, this community really special. So appreciate everyone voting on our request.
Any data on overnight lodging?
Not specifically. I mean, you can speak to that.
Based on surveys that we do during the event,
Mhm.
which are difficult to do because we don't have a single
Right.
point of entrance
Right.
or a paid gate, we estimate somewhere between 150 and 230 room nights.
Mhm.
We do have folks who mention Airbnbs. We have folks who mention camping. I had a vendor last year who was a late arrival because she was locked in at the state park because she was camping. But so they're staying in all different kinds of places. We've received surveys back, people who travel from, I think there was a visitor from Australia once. They come back to town specifically that weekend. They're originally either from here or have family here, but they make it a point that if they're going to make a family trip that year, they do it during Aiken's Macon. My sister lives in New York. She makes it a point to come and see me. I don't see her, but she sees Aiken's Macon, so.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
thank you.
I know there was a lot of questions last year. I just want to make sure we answer them all, if you've got
I
more.
would just suggest,
My favorite event of the year.
You like the
Jim,
food.
you're doing a good job.
Yes.
Well, and I will say that if anybody has tried to eat lunch downtown on Friday or Saturday, when it was still, before it was Electric Eats, I went to lunch at 2 o'clock on Aiken's Macon afternoon. It's like, I got to get away from this just for a little bit. It was a 45-minute wait to get my food. And if you move an event like this away from downtown, now people don't have that choice. They can't walk downtown and grab lunch. Now they're restricted to wherever we are to just use food trucks. And it's important to us as a business membership organization that we're making sure that people are paying attention to our local merchants. We encourage the folks on Park Avenue, open your doors. Let people come in. You don't have to open your bathroom, but let people walk in. Showcase something that you're doing. What's the name of the new store over on Fairfield?
The Big House Outpost.
Yeah, that one. They were just barely open, and we went in to forewarn them. They had a phenomenal weekend that weekend. People see your business, even if they're not coming in your door. If they're not normally downtown, they're seeing the name on the door. They're seeing what's in your front window, and then they make a mental note to come back to maybe do business with you in the future. So that's our goal, is to make sure people know what's available.
thank you.
Thank you.
I just have a comment. You're approaching almost 50 years. Doing it a long time. I look at other locations and they oftentimes expand. Instead of the 2 days, Have you looked at expanding it to having other things included with that Aiken Macon in terms of expanding the time frame, not just the Aiken, something that leads up to Aiken Macon before we get there?
Well, I'll say this. Next year's the 50th anniversary.
Right.
It's also America's 250th birthday.
Right.
So there's potential
another anniversary
for,
in there too. That's
so
the
maybe
weekend.
next
So.
year.
Thank you.
But
That's-
I can tell. I don't remember if Jim was with us, but maybe was the 40th. So you were not there. So for our 40th anniversary, if I recall, we did our membership appreciation trade show that week in our parking lot leading up to the event. We did a business after hours and grand opening, I think, at the Reserve Club because they wanted to do an event. They had just gotten open up, and maybe it was the 30th, but we had an event every single day when you have a staff of 5 people.
Right.
And an
That's
event
ki-
for 200 vendors it's hard to
It
live up
is.
to that
It is.
day.
It's capacity in terms of what you can do based on staffing.
But I'm
Thank-
sure that Jim will find a way.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we sort of backwards. Are any comments from the public? Any more comments from the council? No. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Next is approval of a recommendation from the Accommodations Tax Committee for Visit Aiken funding. Mr. Biedenberg.
Thank you. In February, the Accommodations Tax Committee met to review a portion of the Visit Aiken budget funded by the 30% advertising and promotion special funds. We estimate revenue of $175,000 for fiscal year 25-26 from this special fund. The Accommodations Tax Committee has recommended funding the $327,983 is listed on the attached memo for Visit Aiken SC. This exceeds the amount of funding received from the 30% advertising and promotion special fund. This is offset by other funding sources in our budget that was approved earlier this evening, and we recommend we ask council's consideration to approve the recommendation from the Accommodations Tax Committee for this $175,000.
Thank you. Is
So
there a mo-
moved, Madam Mayor.
That would be Councilwoman Price. Made the motion and a second from Councilwoman Diggs. Thank you. Any comments from the pub? Girardeau, sorry, you've lost on that one.
That guy down there.
Okay, and any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Third, all right, next is approval of a resolution to enter into a development agreement for water service with WSM Ventures.
Thank you. This is the oil change location that was approved recently by council at the intersection of Jefferson Davis Highway, Highway 1, and the bypass. This would install a 6-inch water line, including necessary valves and fire hydrants, in addition to the required 1-inch service line for the facility. This developer will bore under the 5 lanes of Highway 1, and it will help with looping our system, which is something that we're trying to do where applicable. And there is cost sharing. We estimate this to be about $168,121.02, with our contribution capped at $75,000 through CPST 4. Once it's installed, we will inspect and test it to ensure compliance with DES, DOT, and city standards. And this resolution is before you for first reading, for consideration this evening for this development agreement.
I need a
Madam
motion.
Mayor, I so move.
Councilwoman Broll made
I
the,
second that, Madam Mayor.
and Councilwoman Price second the motion. Any comments from the public about this? Comments from council?
I just want to comment that this project is moving very, very aggressively, and I'm pleased to see it.
Thank you. Any other comments? All those in favor before the rains? Unanimous, thank you very much. Next is approval of funding for improvements at Citizens Park 3. Mr. Beedenberg.
Thank you. We have had multiple meetings with council, with staff, and the Aiken Football Club. This partnership has benefited us and the community in multiple positive ways. As part of this, there's a plan to have a regional soccer facility at Citizens Park 3. We have money allocated within our PRT budget, but that project was not needed. It was related to partnership we were doing over at Perry Park. We were involving lighting. But that was not needed, so we are just asking for council's approval to reallocate these funds towards design of these improvements for the regional soccer facility at Citizens Park 3.
Thank you. I need a motion to reallocate.
I so move, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Brohl
I second.
and Councilwoman Diggs second the motion. Any comments from the public? Comments from council? Yes, sir. Good evening. How are you, Mr. Botero?
John Butera, Aiken County. I just wanted to know, is this the same park that we already have the fields fenced in? Is it somewhere else?
What? What did he say?
It's the same place as
It's where the fencing
softball.
occurred at Banks Mill and Barry Johnson, where the fencing took place earlier this year.
And what improvements are they? You said they're going to improve lighting?
No, sir, I did not. I said that we are going to use this money towards a design for this project.
And what are you planning on doing?
A regional soccer park.
So additional fields?
The plan will sort of lay out the number of fields, but yes, I think plural is probably appropriate, that it will be more than one field.
Okay. And will they be open to the public also or not?
The fields will be open. I mean, that remains to be seen. Certainly, right now, it'll be similar to how our baseball fields I would imagine, are used. Those are fenced in. They are not open necessarily to free play. But again, once we get the design done and determine the best approach, that's a question that could probably be better answered as we get further down the road on this.
Okay. Is there any sense of when that would be? When you would have that plan?
When the plan would be done or when the project's completed?
The plan.
I'm not sure. We're talking probably several months, I would imagine. 6 months.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes?
Which group is that?
Oh.
Nothing?
We haven't given them anything before?
No, we have not given them any money.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
This is, I think with the PR department, our largest program. Is that not correct? Is Jessica still here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is our largest program with PRT, isn't it?
No.
Sorry.
she needed exercise.
Councilman Burl, it is the largest youth sports program in our community, but through our partnership with Aiken Football Club, they now organize youth soccer, including our recreation soccer league.
And they do all the sign-ups.
They do, yes, ma'am.
So, and how many, I mean, that is a lot.
And we do have the president of the AFC board here, Ashley Dawsey, that can probably speak on numbers if he's prepared. I can give you some.
Well, you know what's really good about this program, my son played 40 years ago, 38 years ago. It's a leveler. You don't have to have special equipment. So any child, no matter what their socioeconomic, their race, they can play soccer and do well. And you can see them when you go out there. I invite you to go out there sometime and watch them. And they are just having the best time. And now there's even adults, I think, playing. Is that not right?
That's correct.
So, I mean, this has a lot of opportunity to build on. And I think it's a good investment and a good partnership. We always get more done when you do public-private partnership, and it will enhance our PRT department.
And we have had these, this has been a discussion we've had going back about 3 years at least, if not longer. So again, this is not a new overnight thing. I know the Aiken Football Club has worked very hard to try to fundraise, and and they're going to continue to. So it's exciting again because this recreational opportunity is so much used by the public and our especially our children and now adults. It's only going to continue to grow, I believe.
I think so, and I think that once this plan is in place, their fundraising efforts are going to be even better because there will be a solid concrete. We'll know what's going to be done, and that's always good. It's always good to have the plan and let people see it, and then the questions get answered that way. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to say something? All those in, shall I wait? I need to.
Did she left the room? We can't see you, Ed. You have to move her chair.
I'm right here.
There you go. Oh, there he is. All right. Now, have we called for the vote or not?
All right, we're, all those in, right, yeah, Councilwoman Price is out of the room, and we will take a vote. All those in favor? It is unanimous, minus Councilwoman Price. Thank you. There you are. You missed the vote.
Sure. We just took a vote and you weren't here.
Finally, we have approval of an agreement with Aiken County to purchase additional sewer capacity. Mr. Beeden.
Thank you. As the county's public service authority is working to increase capacity, we need to enter into an updated wastewater services agreement with them to ensure that our future capacity needs are met. Based on plans already approved, we estimate needing an additional 2.5 million gallons per day to handle future commercial, industrial, and residential units. We do not have to get all this at one time, and the expectation is as we move forward, as we do now in a lot of respects, this is a lot of our dealings with the Public Service Authority are pass-throughs. So if they charge us X, we will pass that cost on to X. In this case, as these costs for this extra capacity comes to us, that will be passed on to the new developments, not to the existing customers. That is part of what the this plan involves. And again, there are a number of users of the Public Service Authority. The city of North Augusta and the city of Aiken are the two largest. You have some industry. You have Edgefield County, Saluda County, and various special purpose sewer authorities in Aiken County as well. So the county drafted this. We have reviewed it back and forth with staff, with the county, the city attorney, and so forth. And we recommend this be approved by council as we've got a number of projects that are waiting on this. I know, for example, the mayor and I have a quarterly meeting with Woodside Development, and for example, this is something that they're waiting on. These We've got another project, I think, that we got information on today that's been approved. Just a couple of houses eastern end of Park Avenue. So again, this will help proceed with some of this as we move forward, thinking long game. Again, just appropriate planning.
Thank you for that. Is there a motion to accept this?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
This has been reviewed by our attorney, is that correct?
Yes, it has.
With city attorney approval. And
So
recommended.
moved.
And I'll second, Madam Mayor.
Would you make the motion for me?
No, I was just asking the question.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that part. Councilman Girardeau and Councilwoman Broll second the motion. Thank you. Any comments from the public? Is it dripping? It is? No. Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Moniak.
My name is Don Moniak. I live in the county. I just had one question. What is the present capacity for the city? How many million gallons a day? Just out of curiosity.
7.1 million gallons per day.
So that's a pretty good increase, 2.5. It's over 20%, 25%. Okay, thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Councilman Waltz, are you in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. All, that motion passed, or the approval agreement. We now open the floor to public comments on non-agenda items. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes and for a total of 30 minutes.
It'll be short, I promise. Again, Mayor and Council, my name is Barbara Williams, President of the Sugar Hill Neighborhood Consortium. And I just want to say that the consortium, Sugar Hill, we've been doing several things that we really want to share with you. For example, we have a financial literacy course, a 2-hour course that we have now run in some churches, in community, and we'll continue to do that. As Jen Wilkerson mentioned, in the new development that I hope we get in the community center, that's one of the things that she really wants to add, you know, that it be provided to those residents who will be in that new complex, that apartment complex, for example. We've given the course to brothers and sisters also, and one of the things that we do is we give the students a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, okay? And also we choose one student from the class where we personally will give them $50, and with their parents' permission, we take them, well, we go all together to open up a savings account at a bank. So that's one of the things that we do. Also, we are doing free tennis lessons, you know, with Schofield Middle and Aiken Intermediate. Yeah, Aiken Intermediate. And we got a private donation to do that, and so I'm hoping we'll get some donations as well for a second class. We continue to do our outreach that we're preparing for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter, and they're outreach for personal things, not just food, but we found that there's a lot of food that's given out during these special times, but not, for example, toothpaste, brushes, washcloths, soap, dish powder, all those kinds of things. But we'll continue to do that. We also work with the city, talking to Sabina Craig, where we try to really go out and encourage seniors to participate, for example, in the senior program that's going on now, where they'll be getting senior vouchers, as well as the community block grant funds. So we'll continue to do those things, and hopefully, you know, as we go forward, now we are approved for our 501(c)(3), and so we're hoping that we get additional funds, because those things have come out of our pocket for the books, you know, and the pens and the paper and all of that. So we hope that we can continue that, and who knows, the city of Aiken may want to make some contributions to that fund as well. And lastly, DOT has come out and looked at an area where we can put a community sign for the Sugar Hill neighborhood. So we thank DOT for that, and working with all of you, we thank you for your support that you've given over the last couple of years for Sugar Hill. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Barbara, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad's probably 30 years ago. And it's great that you're sharing that with kids, with youth, to learn that. That's something you don't learn in school.
Yeah, and they have a book for teens. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Teens.
Right.
So it's a great book.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, and we believe that they love the class because brothers and sisters, the young people there asked us to come back. And we also gauge the performance of the class because hands go up to answer all kinds of questions.
That's the best thing I heard tonight. That was good.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir. Oh, can he come back again? He can? Okay.
Thank you. Just a few comments on tonight's meeting. I was really glad to hear that there's consideration for consent agenda. I recommended that last year during the discussion over public comments during non-agenda items to try to shorten up your meetings. But I would caution you to look at what county council does. And 95% of the time, what they do is just fits right in. But once in a while, you see something like the sale of the municipal building, the purchase of a municipal building in their case, right next to renaming some roads. So they have situations where they have multi-million-dollar decisions made during the consent agenda. And that just seems kind of out of place sometimes. Although, like I said, in general, it seems to work very well. Which brings me up to today's agenda. 10 of the 11 items in new business were heard by the Planning Commission last month. Only one of them was controversial. That controversial item was placed on the agenda at the end of the new business agenda this time. So you had about 20 people who had to wait and wait and wait. And it's not very considerate to make people wait who you know are going to be here, who you've had complaints from, while they have to listen to public hearings on annexations of individual half-acre properties. And then the final comment will be about Project Pascalis and the Pascalis properties. There was a comment made earlier that this has been 3 years. It's actually been 4 years. It was almost 4 years ago to the day that the decision was made to use the city Chamber of Commerce to have it function as a holding company and take an assignment of the properties that was already under contract to WTC Investments. That should be recognized that happened, and to this day, nobody's explained how that came about, when the meeting was, who was at the meeting, who made those decisions. They weren't made in a public hearing, and they weren't even made in any kind of legal hearing. So that's one thing that's never been answered, is how did this properties be obtained? Who wrote the assignment contracts? And how it all came about. So it's been 4 years. I think some of the answers should be forthcoming. I received a $45,000 bill for a Freedom of Information Act request, just asking for the information that's been passed along to the plaintiffs in the Pascalis lawsuit. I'm not going to do a GoFundMe for that. So just wanted to pass it on. That's pretty obstructionist. Thank you. And Mr. Woltz, just let's make sure my car starts tonight, okay?
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Mr. Beedenbow, do you have anything for us this evening?
I have nothing to add at this time.
Is there a motion? Thank you, by the way. Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Yes.
So move.
Move to adjourn.
Let's go.
Councilwoman Price made the motion,
And I second it.
Councilwoman Broll, and thank you very much. This meeting is adjourned. Oh, all those in favor?